There we go. There we go, family. All right. Welcome to the super Saturday, right? FRX profit maximization, right? What I want to do really quickly is give it right back to Rob, who made a beautiful introduction, who set the tone, who set it off for the family and things like that. So the first thing we're going to touch on, we're going to just run straight through it, right? I want to make sure you guys have all the information you need to be extremely successful in this space, right? For those that don't know, I joined this company in October 2017. So we're coming up literally on 4 years, right? We're coming up on 4 years. October 2017, October 14th, 2017. And it was a beautiful moment because my first 4 months within the business, I was just the trader. I was super closed off to people. I didn't want to share this with anybody. I wasn't thinking about anybody except myself and maybe the 2 or 3 people that were close to me. So I didn't have an interest in sharing the business until until I saw someone else's vision. And that vision was Darwin's vision, right? Darwin Lopez, right? He would always tell me, hey, you're making X amount of money trading, share this with other people. You're doing this, that, and the third, share this with other people. So there were plenty times where I told him no, a lot of times where I told him no, a lot of times where I told him, listen, that's not for me. I don't want to wear suits. I don't want to do none of that. But then it came to the point where I showed up to an event, and this is for my builders. I want my builders, my chairman, I want you to pay close attention. My chairman, future chairman. I went to an event and it completely changed my life, right? Completely changed how I looked at the business. It completely changed how I viewed trading, how I viewed network marketing and everything. And that event was March 18th, 2018. And for the first time ever, I could picture myself on stage. I could picture myself as a chairman. I literally saw myself as a chairman at an event, right? At an event. And from then on, we hit Platinum 1000, 2000, all the way to Chairman 50. And we're on our Chairman 100, Chairman 200 run, right? As a unit, as a team. And it was all made possible through belief and all made possible through this company that allows you to learn a skill set that helps you find the right places to put your money, right? A la the Forex market, right? So the first thing we're going to do is open up a Forex broker account, right? We're going to open up a broker account. Now, there's plenty of brokers to choose from, right? There's plenty of brokers to choose from. Now, I'm not here recommending a broker. I'm not here referring a broker. I'm just going to show you, really quickly. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not here recommending, referring, none of that, right? I'm just saying this is we're just going to be opening up a broker, showing you exactly what it is that you can expect on most broker dashboards. Let me actually share this. There we go. So here, you're going to be able to open up a broker account. There's plenty of brokers. You have Hugo's Way and Power Forex. You have KOT, you have FX Choice. You can do TD Ameritrade. You can do a whole bunch of different brokers, right? There's plenty of brokers. All of them have their, advantages and disadvantages. Some of them have certain incentives and, different things like that to get more people to join that specific broker. I'm not here recommending anything, right? I'm not here recommending anything. I'm not here telling you, hey, you have to do this or you have to do that, right? I'm just going over what the typical dashboard is going to be like for a majority of the brokers out there, right? So you can do plenty of things here, right? You can deposit, you can withdraw, you can open up various accounts. You can transfer from account to account, right? From your trading account to your wallet, right? From your wallet to another trading account that you have, that you own, right? Different things like that, right? So there's plenty of things you can do on this, right? So typically go to their website, set up an account, right? Because you're going to need a broker account for you to get access to the Forex market, right? You're going to need a broker account because your broker is what gives you access to your account. So it's very simple, right? Some of you guys, we all have different brokers, different preferences when it comes to the broker that we choose and things like that. I'm not here recommending anything again, but this is what the typical dashboard is going to look like, right? This is what the typical dashboard is going to look like. Someone said what brokers are good for indices. Plenty of brokers offer indices and things like that. This one, for example, offers like US 30 mini for the smaller accounts, and then regular US 30 as well for the bigger accounts, things like that. But do your own research to find out which broker you prefer to use, right? Which broker you prefer to use. I'm not here recommending or anything like that. Moving forward, right? What's the next topic? We have, let me see 1 second. Right. So you're going to need to set up your broker account. Now you can do plenty of things on here. What you're going to have to do is submit your credentials, right? This requires KYC verification. So you have to upload your ID, proof of ID, proof of address. For you to make withdrawals, I believe it's 10,000 or more. You're going to have to submit that information so that all of this is traced. All of this is taxable income, right? All of this is taxable income, right? You get some people who just don't know about what it is that we do, and they assume that, this is just free money, which is that's not what it is, right? All of this is taxable income. All of this is legal. All of this is governed, right? So now what I want to do next, where is that, right? What I want to do next is actually touch on MetaTrader 4. Right? Are we good on the broker, right? It's not much information. It's not too much to dive into, right? We don't have to go too deep into that. Are we good on the broker? Are we good on the broker? Any questions? Feel free to drop them in the chat. Any questions, right? This is the session where you're not afraid to ask questions, right? This is the session where you're not afraid to ask questions. This is the session where you get all your questions answered, because the information towards the middle and end of this session is the information that takes you. It's the reason you signed up, right? It's the reason you signed up, to see massive change, to see massive growth within your bank account, within your life, within everything that you do. All right. Are we good on this? Are we good on this? Are we good on this? Let me actually charge this. Charge my other phone.
So somebody asked, how much can you start with? Whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, you can start with whatever you feel comfortable with. Some people, and I tell people all the time, like, don't just throw your rent money into a trading account, right? Like, you can start with $50 and grow it. You can start with $100 and grow it. I started with $200 and I was able to grow that. Some people start with 5,000, 10,000, 100,000. Like, the point of this, the reason why Forex is so beautiful is because you don't have to start with a bajillion dollars, right? You don't have to start with a bajillion dollars. You can start trading with whatever you feel comfortable trading with, right? If it's $50, do that. If it's $100, do that. And then you grow your account, because you get to the point where you're so good at the strategy that you've mastered, right? It doesn't matter where you start, you can always get to whatever number you desire, right? Whether that be $100, whether you desire 10,000, 100,000, a million. When you can master a skill set, there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't do. But first comes mastering the skill set. Someone said leverage. That's a very good question. So when it comes to leverage, right? Let me actually do this. When it comes to leverage, the higher your leverage, the bigger lot sizes you can put. So what I would say is, just a typical example. Let's say you have $1,000 and I have $1,000 in my trading account, in our trading accounts respectively. If your leverage is 1 to 500 and my leverage is 1 to 100, right? You can place a standard lot size. You can place a 1.0 lot size on your account. I cannot place a 1.0 lot size on my account because my leverage is lower. So the bigger your leverage, pretty much put it like this: the bigger your leverage, the more your broker will allow you to get negative, pretty much. Just put it like that, to put it really, really simple, because we could spend 30 minutes on what leverage is, but I don't want to get too deep into it. Because we don't really have to get too deep into it. Just understand the sweet spot for leverage is 1 to 300. Now, the reason 1 to 300 is the sweet spot, or 1 to 200 is a sweet spot, is because you can go big on the trades you want to go big on, but at the same time, it's nearly impossible for you to blow your account. It's nearly impossible for you to blow your account. And that was the main secret for me, right? That was the main secret for me when it came to progressing and growing my account, for the simple fact that because I couldn't blow my account, whenever I try to place a big lot size, because I just felt confident, I was winning a million trades, and then usually it's that one trade that you go big on that you lose, right? Whenever I tried to go big, it would say not enough money, right? Even though there's plenty of money in there, right? Even though there's plenty of money in there, because my leverage was lower, it would say not enough money, right? So it literally, allowed me to be in a position where it was impossible for me to blow my account. So whenever you're getting someone started, recommend 1 to 200 or 1 to 300 leverage. 1 to 300 is really the sweet spot, because you can do some great numbers, right? You can do some great numbers, but at the same time, you literally cannot blow your account, right? For those that have ever blown an account, whenever you have too much leverage, whenever you've over leveraged already, and the market is going against you, the numbers on the top right of your screen, they start flashing red, right? They start flashing red. When you have lower leverage, that happens sooner. That happens a lot sooner than when your account gets close to zero, right? So if I have 1 to 200 leverage, right? If I have 1 to 200 leverage, and let's say I put a bigger lot size than I should have, when I get to like, let's say 800, when my account's going down to like 800, it'll close out all my trades, right? That's just an example. If you're at 1 to 500, it'll let your account get to $200, $300, $100, from 1,000 to 200, 300, 100, because you have bigger leverage. You've allowed yourself to put more leverage or strain on your account. Because I have a lower leverage, it'll cut me out real soon, right? When it goes against me, it'll cut me out real soon. So again, if you're trading on Forex, right? If you're trading Forex, you need to put a lower leverage. Unless you're doing something crazy like a challenge account or something like that, which you don't really need to do. You really shouldn't do, unless you're literally willing to lose every single dollar in that account. Unless you're willing to lose every single dollar in that account, don't put 1 to 500 leverage, right? Do not put 1 to 500 leverage unless you're willing to lose everything and okay with it, everything. Yeah, so there we go. Now I want to touch on really quickly any other questions. So any other questions about the broker? That was a good question about leverage. Very good question. All right, there we go. All right, so I want to do, there we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna connect my phone, my other phone, so we can actually play with MetaTrader 4. Can you change your leverage after you opened your account? Yeah, you can do that from your broker. Most brokers allow you to change your leverage. Just hit my accounts. Most brokers would allow you to change your leverage. Yeah, so yeah, you can always change your leverage. Richie, thank you. Go to accounts and then go to leverage, and you'll be able to change whatever it is you want to change. Okay, there we go. So now what we'll do is we'll touch on MT4. All right, cool. So now I'm going to share my screen. Can you talk about margin? That's pretty much it. That's based on your leverage. That's based on your leverage. That's based on your leverage. MT5 is extremely similar to MT4, right? Extremely similar to MT4. Extremely similar. It's not that big of a difference. It's not that big of a difference. Let me see. Okay, cool. So now what we'll do is we'll touch on MetaTrader 4, right? We'll touch on MetaTrader 4. Let me see if my Wi-Fi wants to work on this. Okay, disconnected. So I'll go ahead and open up a demo on the MT4. Cool, went to 100, register. Hold on. No. At gmail.com. Boom. Test 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay, there we go. Sheesh. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna go over MT4. So MT4 is where you're going to be placing your trades. Now I'm gonna be using a demo account for this example. There we go. Let's see if you guys can see my screen. Okay, cool. So now we're playing with MT4. So now we can get really, really good. Now we can get really deep into it. So with MT4, right? This is where you will be placing your trades, right? This is where you'll be placing your trades. So now we're going to start from the bottom left-hand corner. You see, that's where you have quotes, right? You have quotes right here. Now, in your quotes, that's where you find your currencies, right? That's where you find all the currencies that you're actively trading. Hold on, we got a few people raising their hand. Let me add you, promote. Boom, there we go. Okay. That's where you'll find your currencies that you're going to be actively trading. Now you have simple and you have advanced. Honestly, advanced is a lot simpler to me for the simple fact that it tells you like the bigger numbers right here on your right side, that tells you the value. It points out the pip, right? It points out the pip for you, right? So now you have your buy quote and you have your sell quote, right? Your sell quote is on the left, your buy quote is on the right. Also, it gives you a bunch of information on this page, right? You see how it says low and high? It tells you the low and the high of that day, right? Now, if you're trading specific strategies, you may be trading a specific strategy that depends on that number, right? It depends on that low or high number for you to know that, right? You know, once you're on. Okay, dope. We're going to have an amazing guest speaker coming on pretty soon. I'm excited. Okay, cool. So your strategy may depend on you knowing the high or low of the day. So the low and high of the day is put right there. It's placed right there, right there, right there, right? You also have the spread. Now, your spread is extremely, extremely important. So now look at Euro USD at the top. You see how it says spread 26, right? You guys see that? It says spread 26. That means your spread is about 2.6 pips. It's 2 pips, right? 2 pips, 2.6 pips. That's your spread. So now what is a spread? Now, to put it very simply, a spread is like this. Picture like just a number chart. Picture just straight numbers, 1 through 10. If we start at the number 5, right? If we start at the number 5 and the spread is 2, and I'm in a buy, right? I'm in a buy, right? We start at the number 5 and the spread is 2. That means I have to get to 7. I have to get to the number 7 for me to be at 0. So when you place a trade, you're automatically down 2 pips. If the spread is 2, right? You're automatically down 2 pips, right? So we start at 5, you're automatically negative 2 pips. So I have to get to 7. The price has to get to 7, right? There's two more pips, right? The price has to get to 7 for me to be at 0. So anything after 7 is profit, right? That's basically the simplest way to put the spread. So again, picture a number chart 1 through 10. Picture a number chart 1 through 10, right? Actually, we can actually do something like this, right? So picture this. If we're starting here, right? If we're starting here, but the spread is 2 pips. That means if we're starting here and the spread is 2 pips, that means I have to go up to 2 pips. Let's say that right there is 2 pips. I have to go plus 2 pips to be in profit. If we're starting at this bottom red line, right? And the spread is 2, and I'm buying the market. That means I have to go plus 2 pips, right? For me to be at 0. As soon as I place the trade, I'm negative 2 pips. Why? Because the spread is 2 pips. The spread tells you exactly how many pips you're going to be negative, exactly how many pips you're going to be down as soon as you place that trade, right? Does that make sense for everybody? Does that make sense for everybody? Thank you, Gene. Thank you. That makes sense. Okay, someone said no. That's fine. That's fine. Someone said no. That's good. That's good. Honesty. Remember, we're here to learn. So let's say if we're starting here, right? If we start here, we're starting at this box. We're starting at this box and we want to go higher, right? But the broker says we're starting at this box, right? And we want to go higher. But the broker says the spread is 2 pips. That means we have to get to here. Let's say here, right? I'm not doing the exact numbers. Let's say we start at this box and the spread is 2 pips. That means we have to get from this box, we have to get to here to be at 0. That means as soon as you place the trade and we're starting here, we're -2. We're at -2 for us, and we're buying the market. For us to get to 0, for us to get up to 0, the market has to move 2 pips. Now you're at 0. And then anything after that is profit. The spread right here is how brokers make their money, right? That's how brokers make their money, right? You ever think, hey, why do they give me why do they allow regular people to have access to $1 trillion, $7 trillion a day market? The reason they give you access is because it's a business, right? They make money from giving you access. How they make money is this. As soon as you place a trade, yeah, you can trade with us, but every single trade, you have to pay us every trade, right? You have to pay us every single trade. So if we're starting at this box, right, the broker makes the spread of 2, right? The spread is 2. The broker says, okay, you started this box, you're -2. All right, so we already got paid. So for you to get in profit, for you to get to 0, what you got to do is, what has to happen is the market has to move up 2. Now you're at 0. And then anything after that, you make money. Anything after that, you make money. Someone said, how do we know about the spread? Right here. So when you go to quotes and you go to advanced, and the left side, you see under EU, GU, UJ, it says spread 45, spread 26, spread 43, right? You divide that pretty much by 10, and that's the actual spread. Does that make sense for everybody? Divide that by 10, that's the actual spread. So if it says spread 26, it's really 2 pips. If it says spread 45, it's really 4 pips. If it says spread 104, that's really 10 pips. Just knock off the last number, right? Just knock off the last number. That's how many pips. Someone says, how do you know when it goes up or down? When the market goes up or down, we're going to go into that later. When the spread goes up or down, it'll say it. The spread is always going to change. Right? The spread is always going to change. The reason why I love having it on advanced is because the value of the pip, right? The actual value of the pip is the bigger number. If you look on the right side, it's always the bigger number. Why are crypto spreads so much higher? Because crypto is a lot more volatile. Crypto is a lot more volatile. Brokers make a lot of money offering crypto. Make a lot of money offering crypto. Yeah, you still divide by 10 for the mini spreads. Like if the pip says whatever 6, just 6, that means it's 6 pipettes, which means the spread is not even a pip. The spread isn't even a pip. Right? The spread is even a pip. I don't think, and if you want to add quotes, right? Let's say this is not enough. You want to add quotes, just go right here. All right, you hit the plus sign on the top right. Hit Forex for this one. Remember, this is just a demo. This is a regular generic MT4 for MT4 demo. You can add all of these. You can add all of these. Right? When you tap on them, it gives you the numbers, right? How much they charge for swap, how much they charge for swap long, swap short, right? Different things like that. The contract size, stop levels, everything. All right, we're not going to get too deep into that. Remember, this is just a beginner's orientation for Forex profit maximization. But you can get really specific, right? And the reason you'll see me majority of the time, I'll trade USD pairs, because there are certain tax breaks for trading USD based pairs. If you say we should enter trade at 345 and the spread is 3, should we enter at 342? No. Because of the negative 3 pips? No, not necessarily. No. If I say enter the trade, let's say, oh snap, hold on one sec. If I say enter the trade at 17 for Euro USD, right? If I say right now, your USD is at what? 17,244. That's where it's at right now. So if I say get in at 17,244, you just get in at 17,244. That's it. The reason why it's not, the reason why we don't do anything when it comes to the spread, unless you're doing like a buy limit or sell limit, then you have to understand your spread even more. You have to take your spread into account even more. Because if I say to get in at 17,244 and your spread for your broker, for your specific broker, if your specific broker has a spread of 10, which is wild, especially for Euro USD, that's OD. But let's say it's something crazy like 10 pips, then you have to account for that. You have to account for the spread. If your specific broker is going crazy and doing 10 pips on your 10 pips spread on your USD. So yeah, that was actually a very good question. Very good question. But generally speaking, 90% of the time, if someone says get in, buy limit 1.17224, then just put the buy limit there. Or sell limit, whatever order type. When they move to the trade to break even, how do you modify your trade to do that? Very good question. Very good question. So I can't physically do it right now because it's the weekend. So, and it won't let me. It won't let me place a trade or anything like that. On this specific, because I just did whatever on this specific demo. But if I had the demo on, actually, let me actually just play around and play with the my another account. We could do something small, like a crypto trade. We could do a crypto trade. Actually, let me show you exactly how to do that. Actually, it won't even let me do that. It'll take time because I will have to get into profit and then move trades in profit. I'm not actively in any trades right now, but it's simple. So once you place a trade, it'll be on this screen here. You can hold your trade and then hit modify trade. And what you would do is you would put your stop loss. Let's say I bought it, right? Let's say I bought it. You would put your stop loss at a higher price than your entry. Whenever you place a trade, right? Let me actually physically do it. It's fine. I won't lose too much. Let me see. Cryptos, BTC. All right. So now I'm going to switch it to my other phone. I'll switch it to my other phone. We good? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So this is another account. So let's say we're on BTC USD, right? And we want to actually trade this, right? Let's say we want to actually trade this for whatever reason. We hit trade. Let's do 0.01. Stop loss 48340, let's say. It's pretty tight stop. And then 200. Let's say we want to sell this. Right? It's just an example. 0.01 just for example, right? Let's say we want to sell this, right? When you place your trade, you see how under BTC USD, it has your number. It has 48271. That's where I got in, right? You see that? You see how it says under BTC USD 48271? That's my entry price. That's exactly where I got in. So now let's say I was in profit $10 or whatever it is. What I would do is I would hit modify trade. Remember, I'm selling it. So if I'm putting my stop loss at break even, that's my break even price. So what I would do is I would modify, and I would modify the stop loss to say exactly what that number said on the bottom, which was 271, right? I believe. That's all I would do. Point whatever it said, 0.60 or whatever, right? That's all you would do whenever you want to modify and you want to put your stop loss at break even. That's exactly what that means. Put your stop loss wherever your entry was, right? That's exactly what that means, right? Shouldn't we account for spreads? Yes, you can. You should account for spreads. That's why I usually put it in profit. You can put it in profit, 5 pips, 10 pips, whatever. But that's what stop loss at break even actually means. Right? It won't let me do it because where it wouldn't make sense. It would actually knock me out the trade. So again, I'm gonna say it again. the number under BTC USD, you see how it says 48271, right under BTC USD, it says 48271.38, right? 48271.38. That's my entry price. So when someone says move stop loss to break even, that's what they're actually saying. They're saying move stop loss to that number, right? To that number. So what you do is you can hold down the trade. You can swipe left and hit the pencil, whichever one, or hold down the trade, modify. You're just going to hit modify. You can hit modify, right? And then you'll hit 48, your stop loss, 271.38. When they say move stop loss to break even, that's exactly what they mean. That's exactly what it is that they're talking about. You're moving your stop loss to your entry so that if price goes against you, it'll take you out exactly where you got in. You didn't win money, you didn't lose money. Does that make sense? You literally put yourself in a zero risk situation. You put yourself in a win-win situation. Either nothing happens or you make money. This is the beautiful thing about Forex is you can do so much. Not only, we just went over your leverage, right? You can make it so that you can't blow your account. You can also make it, right? You can also make it so that, right? You can also make it so that you put yourself in win-win situations. In win-win situations. There's so much you could do when you just tap in to this side of trading, right? To this side of trading, right? Are we good on that? So the first number under BTC USD, that's your entry. The second number where it says the arrow and then the second number, that right there is the current price. That's always going to be changing. That's always going to change. But this right here under the number directly under BTC USD, that number will forever be the same because that's where you got in, right? That's exactly where you got in. That's your entry. Nothing's changing that. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good on that? Yes. Yes. The number before the arrow is your entry. The number after is where price is. Good. Good, good, good. So now that was quotes. So we're adding quotes. And again, this is dope because you can do a lot of things here. Like, for example, let me actually remove these three. Right? You can edit that. You can edit that. So now, you can do amazing things. Like the reason why you see me trade on maybe specific things is because on the quotes, you see now that you see the first one we saw, it didn't actually have all of these options, right? But we're on an actual broker, not just the MT4 generic one. We're on an actual broker where you have Forex exotics, you have cryptos you can add. You have different size contracts you can add, right? So it depends on whatever broker that you prefer, whatever broker you have. Again, I'm not referring anything. I'm not recommending anything. You do your own research and figure out whichever broker is best for you, right? But you have things like this where there's ETH big, FRX big, XRP big and things like that. These contract sizes are much bigger. Now, you see how you have regular BTC and then you have BTC big? The big contracts are bigger contracts. So now those, if your broker offers that, right, those contracts are for bigger accounts, people who are willing to risk more, pretty much. People who are willing to risk more. All right. So just be very, very careful whenever you're deciding, whenever you're trading specific quotes, right? Then we have indexes and things like that. You have US 30 regular, you have US 30 mini for the smaller accounts as well. Right, so US 30 is extremely volatile. You can trade US 30 mini, right? You can trade US 30 mini for my smaller accounts, things like that. But someone said, what's the difference between pro and things like that? The main difference, a big difference, is the contract size. It depends on your broker, but the contract size can be different. But for the most part, when it comes to pro and regular ECN, and just the traditional pro, typically, generally speaking, pro has smaller spreads, right? Generally speaking, pro has smaller spreads, just generally speaking. It's not 1,000,000% of the time. Again, it varies broker to broker, right? It varies broker to broker. These are all good questions, right? These are all good questions. Are we good on there? Okay, cool. Now what we can also do is, let's touch on the chart. Are we good on quotes? We're going to go one at a time. We're literally going one at a time. We're good on quotes. You can go simple to advanced. You have a bunch of information on there. You have your spread. Yeah, this recording will be on YouTube. You have your spread. You have your buy quote, your sell quote. You have your sell quote, your buy quote, what price they get you in at when you buy the market, what price they get you in at when you sell the market. The difference between the two is the spread, right? The difference between the two is what you would call the spread. So now the chart, now you can get real funky. You get real funky with the chart. You get real crazy with the chart. You can get crazy with the chart. Top left, you have your different time frames, right? You can check these charts on different time frames. There's your monthly, your weekly, your daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute, 5 minute, even 1 minute, right? You can even get down to your 1 minute, right? You can edit you can do a whole bunch of stuff on this chart, right? You can do a whole bunch. You can tap the chart and place a trade on whatever it is you're looking at. You can input indicators. You can add objects, right? These are your lines and boxes and whatever, what have you, right? And you can even use settings. Settings we're going to tap on later because there's plenty of things you can do on there. But if I wanted to just look at a chart, let's say AUD USD chart, if I tap the chart, it'll let me trade it, right? It'll just let me trade it. I'm just go back. If I'm on, let's say, even if I have things here, right? I can hit the pencil. I got rappers calling. I got rappers hitting me up. I got the pencil, right? You swipe left. I have the pencil there where you can modify. I have the plus sign where I can add it. I can even add another position. And I have the chart. I have the chart here on the right where I can check out the chart of whatever it is I'm looking at, right? I can check out the chart of whatever it is I'm looking at, right? So let's say I was to tap that, right? Indicators. I can add different indicators. Let's say I know my guy Justin likes Bollinger Bands. I can add Bollinger Bands on there. Indicators, Bollinger Bands. I can edit so much on here. I could make these Bollinger Bands red, purple, whatever it is I want to do. You can customize this to the fullest. You can shift deviations and periods, right? Let's say I wanted to do 14. Boom. There's so many things you can do and customize. Now, I'm not going to get into every single indicator and what the deviations mean or what the periods mean and things like that, because you'll get into the academy and understand all those things, right? This is just so you know what is available to you, just so you know what it is that you have access to, right? Cool, perfect. So now let me actually indicate it. You can actually remove that. Swipe left, delete it, just like a text message, right? Swipe left, delete it, boom. Let's go objects. Objects, you can do amazing, amazing things. Now the objects is going to show you all the objects on whatever pairs that you have objects on. So you see I have the dollar index, I have a fib on there. ETH, I have a line on there. Euro USD, I have a fib and a line on there. So it shows you all the objects on all the pairs and quotes that you've been trading on it or been marking up, right? So if I want to add, let's say, a line here, I just tap the line, right? If I want to add another line, hit objects, right? Under where it says add object. Those are my mostly used objects right there. I can hit add object and go through the list, or I could do the shortcut and use, let's say, hit the line again. I just add another line, right? Let's say I want to objects, add object. You can do so much on here. Add an arrow. You can add an arrow. Objects, add object, right? Let's say I want to add a fib. Boom. Let's say I want to add a fib. Boom. Let's add a fib on there. Right? And let's say this is too much and I don't want anything on there. I can just swipe left individually, or I can hit that trash can at the top right. I can hit the trash can at the top right and it'll delete all the objects I have on everything. Right? And it'll clean up my whole chart. I can hit the square, do a square, right? You can use this when you're marking up imbalances, things like that. You could do a whole bunch on here. There's so much you could do on here, right? If I don't like any of that, boom, objects. Let me take out that. Let me take that out. Let me take that out. Let me take this out. Let me add this, right? You can actually mark up charts from MetaTrader 4. Right? Someone asked, with any trade, do you always set stop loss and take profit? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. unless you're somebody who's just actively, unless you're prepared to literally sit there and watch the chart. Even if you're doing that, I would still recommend stop loss, take profit. But the only way you will catch me not having a TP is if two things. Number one, I'm actively watching the chart like a hawk, like I'm actively on the chart, right? I'm actively just watching the chart. That's number one. Number two is if I just see this going super, super far. Like for example, for crypto, for something like crypto or anything, if I have a dope entry and I'm in profit, right? And I'm in profit, I'll move my stop loss in profit. So I'm in a win-win situation and I'll just let it ride out. But even then, that's a pretty rare occasion. For the most part, I have stop loss and take profit. Always stop loss, take profit, always stop loss, take profit, always. Okay, cool. So there's your chart. There's plenty of things you can do on there. Let me actually go to objects, clear this out. Clear, delete all. You can do fibs. You can put a fib on there, right? Put a little fib on there. Let me see what's going on here. You can zoom in. Not too shabby. All right. Indicators. You could do any. There's so much you could do on here. So much you could do on here. You have moving averages, everything. Oh, and then we go to settings. Now, this is where you have all the fun, right? This is where you can customize this to the max. You can customize this to the max. You can add so much. For most people, they have volume on their thing, which is on their chart, which is those lines at the bottom. That's your volume lines. To take those off, hit settings, turn that off. You want to add, I got period separators on. So the period separators are those lines right there, those dotted lines that are vertical. It separates the day for me. It separates the market by days. If I want to take that off, let me take away the period separators. And now they're no longer on my screen. No longer on my screen, right? There's so much you can do. You could customize this to the fullest. You can customize this to the fullest. Trade levels, if I want to take that off, if I don't want the market to actually show me the trade levels, it'll take it off. If I want the market to not show me the ask price, it won't show me the ask price anymore. You see, I was only one. Let me actually remove everything. Indicators. All right. Objects. Let me take that off too, just to have less noise on the chart. You see how there's only one price right there? One blue line now. If I put the ask price on, right? You see I'm turning it on. If I turn it on, it tells me if I were to get into the trade, what price it'll fill me in at is the red line. That red line is the price they'll fill me in at. Of course, I'm about to go over that right now, and I'm about to go over that right now. I'm not going to be doing any analysis on here right now. This is just literally, I only place that trade for education purposes. I'm not going to spend time going over analysis. It's just straight up how to use the tools. But okay, settings now. So we went over volume, ask price, trade levels, open, high, low, close, right? And then your data window, whatever. Now you have colors. Now this right here is when you can edit and really have fun with what it is that you're looking at, right? So you can have, there's already green on black, right? You can have it all black on the back side, right? In the background. And then you can go to colors again, just like the add-on we got, and go black and white. Those are just preset, colors for your charts. Or you can customize it, right? You can customize it. You could have your foreground, your grid, your bar up, bar down, bull candle, bear candle. You can customize literally everything on here. What I like to do is make the foreground the same color as the grid. All right, let me see. Oh no. Make the foreground black. Okay, yeah, there we go. So we're good. So your foreground is the numbers on the right side, pretty much. That's your foreground. You have your bar up, bar down. You have a bull candle, bear candle. Bull candles, let's say the bull candle, which is the upward candle. I want that to be green. Bear candle, which is the downward candle. I want that to be red. right? Line chart, I have that black, volume, whatever. Boom. Boom, there we go. Save. And boom, you see how I just changed everything on there? Right? And you can literally customize this to the fullest, guys. You just go to colors and play around with whatever you like to see. Now, the reason why these colors are so important is because colors, I want you to pay very close attention because this is literally a secret as to why some people are not winning in their trading history, right? These certain colors induce you to do certain things, right? When you think of if mad was a color, what color would it be? Put it in the chat. If the emotion of mad, angry was a color, what color exactly? Right? There's a reason you connected an emotion to a color because certain colors that you're looking at are going to cause or bring out certain emotions in you. It's that simple. You ever seen somebody see something their favorite color and they say, oh, that's my favorite color. Oh, they get happy or whatever it is, right? The charts you look at are going to induce you to play certain trades or not to play certain trades, depending on what colors you're looking at. So no one knows you better than you, right? No one knows you better than you, right? So if you like, someone said they like pink and purple, perfect. If you like looking at pink and purple, then change your colors, right? Do pink. You do a dark purple, right? If that's what you like looking at, then that's what you like looking at. Right. So, but remember, you want to be very, very careful. Like whenever I'm trading, let's say on like TradingView, which is what I'm going to get into next. Whenever I'm trading on TradingView and things like that, what I like to do is trade on a gray background. Just a gray background. I got green and I got red, just gray background. Some people like the black background. Some people like white background, whatever. Whatever it is you like is what you like. Right? There you go. We're good. We're good. So you can customize your colors. You can customize your background any which way you like. Any which way you like. Just hit colors. That's all you got to do. All you got to do is hit colors, right? That's all you got to do. Man, it's super gray out here in Houston. Oh, man, there's a whole cloud coming in right now. Okay, cool. So now we went over that, went over trade. Trade, you can do a couple things, right? You can close your trade, modify, add another position, or check out the chart. Those are the 4 things you can do. Right? Your history shows your history, right? We didn't do much on here, so your history shows your history. Settings, you can do plenty of things on your settings. Mostly you can create a new account. You can check out news. You can chat with other people. Right now, for that, I would stay away from that. You can check out your leverage, different things like that. But for the most part, that is your MT4. You have your quotes where you can select whatever quotes, whatever currencies you're trading. You can add quotes, different things like that. Add gold, right? Silver, whatever it is. You have oils. You have a whole bunch of different things. You have futures where you can add the dollar itself. You have the chart where you can modify the chart. I got to change this later, but you can modify the chart to say whatever it is you want it to say. See, we're creeping closer and closer into profit right now. Went over history, went over settings. So are we good on MT4? Are we good on MT4? Are we good on MT4? We're good on MT4. Great, perfect. Perfect. Someone said a litter. It's all good. So you're gonna check out the recording, and I have other videos on MT4 as well. So I'll be able to send that out. I'll be able to drop that as well in the YouTube. So now we got a special guest, guys. We got a very, very special guest. We got a very, 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 very special guest, man. Is he on here? Let me see if he's on. We got a very special guest. Now, we just went over, right? Let me see if I can show this. There we go. Okay, we just went over how to use MT4, right? Went over how to use MT4, went over how to set up a broker account. Again, we didn't recommend a broker or anything like that. All right, we did not recommend a broker or anything like that. Again, you're gonna be able to do your own research. You pick whatever broker you like. We don't recommend or refer anything. But now that you know how to use MT4, now that you know how to place a trade, now that you know how to look for quotes, now that you know how to finesse and finagle your way through the chart, right? I'm going to actually introduce you to one of the best traders on the platform. One of the best traders I've ever met, actually. I remember when he signed up, right? I remember when he signed up and he would tune into the Tuesday, Thursdays calls we would do. And I would go over the scanner or I would touch on some institutional concepts. And this guy absolutely blew up, right? I'm not going to get into how much money he's made, right? I'm not going to get into how much money he's made, but just know he's out in Nigeria and they treat him like a king, like for real. Like, I'm so serious. They treat him like a king out there. And he's a prime example of somebody who just uses and leverages the people around him, right? He leverages the people around him, right? So I remember, when I first got the news of him hitting a certain level in his trading account, and I was like, what? Got on the phone with him. He says, yeah, I'm building a team out here. Hey, can you guys come out to Africa, right? We got a team out in Africa. We got a team out in Douala, Cameroon. We had 100, 200 people in the room. This guy has built out teams of hundreds of people. This guy has helped thousands of individuals. And this is just a testimony as to what happens when you're just consistent with the business, when you're consistent with whatever it is that you're doing, right? So I want to introduce, right, if you're ready, bro, I want to introduce someone that I talk to on a regular basis, right? Somebody that just literally feeds families every single week. Like, his trades literally feed families every single week. So Gene, are you here with us? I want to introduce you guys to Gene. Gene, are you here with us? There we go.
Let's see. Can you guys see me?
You got Gene. There we go. So Gene, please hop on here, brother. Please hop on here and share with us some steady sauce. Give us the tools that we need to make the money that you make trading, right? To make the money you make, to impact the lives that you impact, bro. So without further ado, I'm gonna pass you the stage. Love you, bro. Whatever it is you need, we got you. And go ahead, bless the people, man. Bless.
Of course, bro. Of course. So, guys, what's up? Just like Ty just said, I'm Gene. I'm from Nigeria, Africa. And we had this discussion about doing this session where I could show you guys something that could really elevate your trading to the next level. I'm really excited to be on the call, and going back into what Ty just said about, we had a very massive event in Cameroon and I had to fly out, and it was even insane because I flew out from the US, and it was strange because, that was your first time ever coming to Africa, and, me being the person who brought them there and what we were able to do with all of those people. And I remember before he took his flight back to the States, it was like, bro, because I was in school then. So the funny thing was I was doing all of this and I was studying pharmacy and I was in school. I was in my 5th year, but I was already making more, a lot of money. And Ty was like, bro, look at the potential in this business and look at what you've done so far. So if you feel like school is just hindering you, just quit, go full on your business and see what happens. And after I gave him a hug at the airport, it was like for the next 1-2 weeks, I was only thinking about, leaving school. I'm like, bro, I've gone to a point where I would say I was comfortable. And this was the time for me to get to the next stage because I had plans. And I knew if I remained in school, I had 3-4 more years because there's lots of things you have to do to become a certified pharmacist. And I'm like, nah, let me just go through with this and pursue this. And everyone in my family was like, what made you do this? It was actually Ty because, we had that discussion. And it was like, bro, this is what you got to do. So that was life-changing for me because it gave me the time for me to be able to go full on the business. And also that led to massive success, led to me opening up businesses and starting real estate and stuff like that. So that was really a blessing, that conversation. And this is the same thing, just before I get into what I'm about to say, for some of you guys who are just on this call, you knew, this is what I've been a call with your upline or a call with your mentor can do for your life. It can literally change your life. And that was what just that one-on-one conversation with Ty, that was what that did for me and just set the stage for all of this. And that's why whenever just events and stuff, you also want to make sure you go out to those events because there's so much value you can get from those events. There's so much value you can get from hanging around people who have seen success in the business, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to talk about study. I'm an educator in study. go live. Let me confirm you guys can hear me. And then energy is pretty kind of dead in chat. That's fine. So yeah, I'm going to talk about Steady, which is one of the platforms. And what I like to tell people, and this is the thing. So the first time I go into IML, before I became a part of Ty's team, I got into IML 2017. That was December 2017. And I got into the seminar and they were telling me about, oh, this is foreign exchange market and this is the largest market in the world. This is what we can do. So I'm like, all right, fine. The potential is dope and I can see what other people are doing. I want to do the same thing for myself. So let me just join this business. And what I did was I joined the business, took out all the money I could get, thought I could trade myself. So I went through the academy like a day. One day, finished the entire IM Master Academy. The next day, I was pulling up charts. I'm like, let me trade. I was so happy to trade. I'm like, let me trade this. And then I went on the charts. First day, lost half my account. It was insane. Lost half my account the first day. The second day, blew everything. It was so bad. Like, I was looking at my phone. I was literally shivering. Like, it was insane. I can still like feel the emotion from that. So that led to a very massive downward spiral and me being depressed and stuff until I met Ty on Instagram and then became a part of his team. And I remember I used to open your sessions, Tuesday, Thursdays, where they used to have training sessions, and I'll watch over and over and watch the recordings and stuff because I had to be at the hospital the next morning. I was working at the hospital as a pharmacy student. So it was literally insane, juggling all of those things. And that's the same thing for a lot of you guys right now. The question is, do you want to go through the same thing I went through when I joined the business the first time and lose all your money? Or do you want to go through the second option you have, which is you leverage the experience from someone who was seeing results, and then you use that to build wealth for yourself whilst you are learning how to do this. Just like a lot of you guys on the call right now, there's a bunch of hands raised up. If you have a question, just type on the chat box. Go on YouTube and type in Ty the God. You're going to see this video. So I think we'll post it tonight or tomorrow. Okay. Perfect. So yeah. What I like to tell people is you have two options being a part of this business. And that's the beautiful thing about IM Master Academy. It gives you lots of options. Unlike any other company out there, being a part of this company, you have multiple options that you can select from to create wealth for yourself. Now, you have the option to try to do this yourself, learn and try to do it yourself, and blow multiple accounts before you finally figure it out, which is going to be months. I mean, literally months. Or you can learn this yourself, at the same time make lots of money, leveraging the experience of someone else. So this is what I like to tell people. Let me pose a question to you guys real quick, okay? If you had the option to learn from Warren Buffett, which is one of the greatest investors of all time, Warren Buffett, okay? If you had the option to learn from Warren Buffett on how to invest in stocks, for example, at the same time, you also got the option to trade exactly the same stocks Warren Buffett was trading on a weekly basis. Would you select just to learn or to learn and also trade the stocks so you can build wealth for yourself? I bet every one of you guys are going to say the second option because it makes sense, right? I can learn at the same time to make lots of money for myself. Correct. Now, imagine you also have access to someone who has done multiple six figures in the business, okay, clocking in seven figures in the business. Imagine you had access to doing exactly the same thing they were doing on a day-to-day basis. Imagine you had access to trading, taking the same trade as Ty, for example. I remember way back 2018, Ty to flip mad accounts, like 2K, 10K. It was flipping $2,000, $10,000. It was insane. I used to look up to this man because it was mind-blowing, right? One of the persons I learned from in the business. So imagine you're having access to that option where you can learn doing all of this. At the same time, you have the option to get the same ideas from someone who's experienced in the business, and that saves you the stress of losing lots of money. That is a concept going into the product. That's why you see them do our money kind of teachings, and also that's a concept going into Steady. Now, what is Steady? Steady simply is a product on IM Master Academy that gives you the smoothest option. So you can literally copy and paste on your phone, trade ideas. Okay, so let's say, for example, as an educator in Steady, the trades I'm taking, okay, you can get access to them because I'll just copy those trades, paste them on the app, and then you go on the app, you copy the numbers, and then paste on your phone, and you're good to go. Let me show you guys real quick. Can you guys see my screen? Let me confirm. All right, great. So the first thing I want you guys to do is you want to go to your back office, obviously, and you want to add this as a product on your back office. So let me show you guys an example. I am Academy. So you go to your back office and you click the menu tab. If you want to add Steady to your back office, and you go to your shopping cart, and then you can add Steady package. So I basically have access to everything. That's why just nothing shown on here. But you will see your option to add Steady on your shopping cart, and then you can select that and you get access to Steady. Okay, so now once you have access to Steady, the next thing you want to do is you want to go to your app store. If you're using an iPhone or if you're using an Android phone, you can the app is on the app store. So app store or your Play Store, anyone is okay, and you type in IM space Steady. You're gonna see something like this, and that's the app you're trying to get. Okay, so IM space Steady, and you get this app, and then you download the app to your phone. You type in your username once you log into the app, and then boom, this is the home menu. Now, just running through the app, this is a menu where if there's a new trade, you're gonna see there. You can also turn on notifications. So whenever there's a new trade or whenever there's a commentary from any of the educators from the app, you get a notification. Look how dope that is, okay? You're literally getting notifications that makes you money, okay? That's insanely dope. So once you download the app, you get notifications, and then once you get a trader, for example, you can go to the app store, and then you're gonna see this. Okay, this is on the home tab. Let me check the chat box real quick. Perfect. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're going to click on the trade, and then it takes you to this. Okay, you see exactly the trade. Now, what's wonderful about this is on this trade, you can just copy the numbers from the app and then post them on your M24. Just like all those things I was telling you before. If it's a buy limit order, if it's a market execution, everything, the numbers there on the app. Okay, entry price 1.15126. So now in this example, you can see the order type is a buy limit order on GBPJPY. Entry comes at, this is entry price 1.151.126. So just go to this. You click on that, it automatically copies the number. You go to M24, you paste that number, it's there. You go to stop loss, you copy the number. Go to M24, you paste that number, it's there. You go to your take profit. Typically, you want to set TP3, and then you copy that, paste in your M24, it's there. Everything is done by the educators. Everything is done by the people who have spent years studying this business, and they're already successful in the business. So you're leveraging their experience to create wealth for yourself whilst you're learning how to do this for yourself. That literally makes it easy with the app. Okay, so now this is what you're getting access to. The next slide in this is how to use the app. There's literally videos in this, but that's what I'm going for. So I don't think you need this, okay? Because that's what we're discussing right now. Also, you can look at the history of all the trades sent. Let's say, for example, a trade was sent out yesterday and you missed that trade yesterday, and you want to check if it's still valid, you go to this search. Okay, you can go there. If you're looking for a trade from me, for example, you can go in and type in, look for active trades. Any trade which is still active or not active, all of them is all there. Now, the wonderful thing about this app, okay, is that you can also see updates from the educators, which is the chat box. Okay, I think this, I said the time I took a screenshot a few hours ago. This is the last update. We had a buy on US dollar on Thursday. stop short about 1 pip from TP1. Now, what I see most of you guys do is you take the trades from the app, but you don't check the updates on the chat box. You always want to check the updates in chat box, because on the chat box, I'll be telling you, or John, for example, is going to be telling you exactly what it's doing with in terms of trade management. So what we're doing is, not only are we giving you trades with the entry levels, with the stop loss levels, with TP levels, we're also giving you the way we manage trades, for example. So I might say, okay, at TP1, I personally am taking 80% of my profits at this position, and I'm moving my stop loss to break even. It's going to be on here, and you're going to get it as a notification. Now, if you don't check the notification, you will take a trade, it's going to go up into profit, and then because you're not checking the chat, you just leave your open profit, then you get sucked on the loss. This is what a lot of people do. Even when you guys were posting on Instagram, I see a lot of you guys do this, and you guys need to learn how to look at the chat box. Okay, so the chat box is really important because it does a lot of updates when it comes to trades you're taking, trades you're on, trade management, the chat box. Okay, it's really, really important. Now, the cool thing about this is you can also leverage log. All right, so you can also leverage the calculator on the app where you can calculate your risk. Okay, so typically what I recommend for, if you have a small account, let's say you have a $500 account to a $1,000 account or $2,000 account, you want to use a 3 to 4% risk. Okay, so you risk 3 to 4% of your account. That way you can quickly compound your account. You can get into multiple trades, and it's very difficult for you to blow your account. Very, very, very difficult. Now, if you're people that trade funds, like you use like 100K accounts, 100K account, obviously use a 1% risk. Anything above 10K, you're using 1% strictly, okay? 1% risk is enough to make you lots of money in a month. So that is the risk I advise. So when you're calculating the risk, the currency of the brokerage you're using, currency pair, the account size, if you're trading $2,000 account, you type in there, what percent risk you want to use? 4%. Okay, let's say for example, you put it there. What is your stop loss? You put your stop loss there, and then you click and calculate. It's going to show you everything. It's going to show you the lot size, the exact lot size you're supposed to use based off of your risk and also based off your stop loss. So that way you're always compliant with your compound plan. So a lot of times, a lot of your upline, they'll give you like something like a compound plan. So if you want to follow that compound plan, you're trading Forex, this is a good app. So everything is all on the app. Okay, so before I go to the Go Live session, let me confirm real quick. Did you guys understand what I said? Are we clear? Do I utilize currency strength before I make an analysis on why I took that trade? I use different methods. I can't teach that on one session. So are we good? Perfect. All right. So now one thing is the app. I do understand a lot of you guys that are part of this, you work multiple jobs. You're doing something else, and this is something that you're looking at to be something more that replaces your job eventually, as you should. Okay, so for those of you guys who are working, this is going to be a good option for you because now you can just you have an app that literally makes you money. So it's you have your app, you get your notification, you copy and paste in your phone, you go to other things, you come back, you check your trades, or you can see a notification to update your trade depending on what we say. Boom, all of that is all on there. Now, for those of you guys who are more free, typically around morning Eastern time zone, okay, for those of you guys who work, let's say you work night shifts, for example, we have live trading session that is separate from the app. So we have the app, and then we have a live trading session. So the live trading session is literally me on the Zoom call like this, and we're going over the markets live, and we're taking the trade live, and then all the updates will be on the chat in the app, okay? That's dope, because now we're trading New York session together every single day, Mondays to Thursdays. So not only do you have live sessions, let's say if you're doing HFX, you also have live sessions for FRX. So you're literally going to be on the session where I'll tell you where the market is supposed to go. I will explain to you why the market is supposed to go. So that is a good way for you to learn and earn money at the same time, apart from what you're getting on the app. Okay, so typically I'm live New York session on Go Live Mondays to Thursdays, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so if you get the steady product add-on on your back office, just go, you can access the app, you can download the app, access everything on the app, and then you can also access the Go Live. So you go to FRX, no, not FRX, you go on your Go Live, just type in Go Live, okay, it's gonna take you here. You go to Steady, all right, so when you're here, you scroll down to Strategies Education, and then you go to Steady. You click on Steady, and then you can get access to all the sessions. So you can see the sessions here. So I don't think Sabra is doing a session. John has a session by 10 on Mondays and 10 on Thursdays. So that is GMT. That's 5 a.m. Eastern. Now that might be too early for a lot of you guys on the Eastern time zone. You can be on my session. Mine is more of trade, so like trade live. And then I'll be after the session every day, Mondays to Thursdays, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Okay. So if you have questions about the session, if you have questions about anything, let me know in the chat box. Any question you have regarding trading, I think I'm the last person on the call. So let me know in the chat box before I end the call. Just throw all your questions at me. I'll try my best to answer everything. Okay, so I typically do Forex. During by September going to November, I might go into commodities like cattle, livestock, grains, soybeans, stuff like that, depending on what I see in real world economy, basically. But I trade currencies mostly. How often does this steady app called trade? I think recently the market has been shitty, but last week we did about 9 to 10 trades. 9 to 10 trades, okay? 9, 10, 11 trades or so. What is the minimum you can add? Now, when it comes to investing in your brokerage account, the first I always tell people is you never want to do what I did the first time I joined the industry, where I took out all the money I had to try to trade and I lost everything. Always risk what you can afford. Do not risk more than what you can afford. So if you can afford $500 on your account, if you can afford $1,000 on your account, that's what's going to be your equity to trade with. Okay, so don't go overboard trying to think you can become a multi-millionaire overnight just because you have lots of money. You can easily blow that account, especially if you're new in the business. Okay, especially if you're new in the business. Can you show how one can add money for their trades? I'm sorry, I don't really understand that question. I don't really get you. How do you compound for FRX? Your upline should provide you with a compound plan. I think Ty has that, so Ty can forward it to you guys, and you guys will get it easily. So that's easy. Yeah, so that's dope. So if you're just starting out, you can start with $50. Very small amount of money, see the outcome, get used to it before you then put in more money. That's typical advice. So you don't want to go try to start trading and immediately you go with $100, okay? Because your emotions are going to be all over the place. Like you have $100 and you feel like, let's say for example, you're in a drawdown, you know nothing about risk management, you're using a one standard lot size. So that means for every single movement in the market, you're either making or losing $10, okay? Price goes 5 pips against you, now you're down $50, okay, on your $100 account. That's if you're using crazy leverage. So the best thing to always do is start with a very small money, see what you can do in a few weeks or a few days or a month, and then you can then add. That's the beautiful thing about FRX, okay? You're literally your own boss in this industry. Like you control everything. So don't just go overboard because you're trying to start this out and just throw $1,000, $10,000 at this, okay? Let's start small, get used to it, and then build upon that. Easy. What is the discipline regarding trading you implement to this day? I have something I call protocols, okay? Before I take trades, I follow protocols. Now, the reason why I say this is because if you're trading $10,000, $20K, you know, it's easy to just trade and think you can flip account. when you're trading 100K or more, okay, your mindset has to change, because if you're over leverage, the outcome is literally insane. So imagine you're down 10K plus on a setup. You cannot afford to be down 10K plus on the setup. So just levels to this. So what I told people is trade $100 account the same way you're going to trade a 500K account. Okay, easy. Develop the discipline. So as you have more money, it becomes easy. So trading literally is at the point whereby I'm not attached emotionally. And that's the goal for every single person on this call. How can I get to a point where trading is the same thing as looking at my email, or trading is the same thing as looking at my Instagram or Twitter page or something? So how can I get as disconnected from trading as possible, but it makes me a lot of money? That's the goal. Because if you get to a point whereby you are so attached to a trade, it's not going to be enjoyable. It's going to be something that's very tough for you. And if you don't start from a very small account, building that discipline to not be emotionally attached to your trade, I'm giving you major source right now, guys. Okay, if you don't train yourself from a very small account to teach yourself that discipline, especially for those of you guys who are new, you're gonna get to a point where, let's say you want to get funded, for example, and you have 100K, you're down $5,000. You're going to feel shitty. You're going to feel depressed. You're going to feel scared. It feels like a life or death situation for you, because I've been there before years ago. Okay, and this is something you can do to avoid that. So when it comes to trading, can you guys hear me? When it comes to trading, you always want to make sure that you are as disciplined as possible to building to train yourself now to be disciplined and be as disconnected as possible from this. Now, the thing about this is, if you can get yourself to a point where you're disconnected from price, what you can make is unlimited. Okay, I keep telling people, I had one guy earlier this year, the first month of the year, made 100K off of trading in a month from a funded account. Because what I literally told him that changed everything for him was understanding now, the bigger that the money gets, the more emotionally connected you want to be. But once you can train yourself to just only follow your plan. Okay, what's my trading plan? Okay, this is my trading plan. I follow that strictly, regardless of wins or losses. Boom. Things are beginning to click, and you can see massive successes off of this. So I think that was the biggest thing I learned. That was a psychological game that this can play on you and how to overcome that. So you have to start from when you have a small account, and then you can build into that gradually. Any other questions before I end this? If you have any questions regarding steady, let me know. Of course, bro. Do you have train and trade 101 schedule? I'm sorry, I don't know what train and trade 101 schedule is. Yeah, everything's good. So I think we're done. Yeah, so if you have the elite package, you get access to everything. You get access to steady and everything. So it's all included in the elite package. I definitely, and if you're signing up someone else, always make sure that they get the elite package first. So they can get access not only to steady, you can also get access to HFX and crypto and everything. So what you're doing is you're creating multiple streams of income for yourself. So imagine having access to Warren Buffett and also having access to a multiple seats for a trader, also having access to a multiple seats for a crypto trader. That's the beauty of having an elite package. So if you're signing someone up, let them get the elite package, because now you're making their success easier for them. And also they have multiple streams of income just off of one company alone. That's the beautiful thing about this. So I don't know if Ty is coming on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here.
Of course. All right, bro. I think we're done. Questions, yeah.
Nah, yeah. Thank you. All right. What is good? What's good? Okay, we got a question. Someone said Wendy had a question. What was your question, Wendy? Let me scroll up.
Wendy, would you make more money copying and pasting these apps or calling out your own trades? I don't understand. Calling out your own.
Yeah. He calls out trades on the app, bro. So he's actually the educator. So he's calling out the trades. So he's taking the trades being called out. So it's kind of one in the same to answer that question. Yeah, Ashley. Yeah, he's the one calling out the trades. So he's those are his trades and he's calling it out, you know. So it's kind of like one and the same. It's cool though. It's cool. Okay, cool. Let me see here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, Gene, thank you, bro. Thank you so much. We definitely needed that. Steady is one of the easiest apps to get somebody on and have them make money immediately, have them profit immediately, right? Because it's simple, right? You just copy, paste, profit. Very simple. Simple. Not to mention the fact that the Steady app has the calculator that tells you exactly how much you should be risking, tells you exactly what lot size you need to be doing. So Gene, thank you so much, man. It's like so surreal, man. I remember Gene, he didn't know what like a pip was, and now he's here educating. Now he's here. I'm not even going to mention the money he's made, but you can kind of tell just from the way he explains things, the way he says certain things, you can kind of, money has a walk, a talk, and a smell, right? And so whenever you see Gene, whenever you hear Gene, you know it's money talking, right? You know it's money talking, right? So thank you, Gene. You're the absolute GOAT. Thank you. So now what we're going to do next, right? What we're going to do next, let's dive right into it, right? Let's drop some sevens in the chat for Gene, right? Let's drop some sevens in the chat for Gene because he absolutely killed that. What I want to do is I want to go over the compound plan, right? It's something I've been getting a lot of questions about. Let me actually go ahead and I've been getting a lot of questions about the compound plan. I actually had a call the other day, yesterday with Powerful Mind Jay. I had a call with Jay, and we're talking about making sure people make money, right? Making sure people make money, making sure people know what it is that they're doing, making sure people are on the right path, right? And it's something I was gonna call Justin today about that too, right? But it was something that, let me actually share my screen. Here we go. Yes. It's something that a lot of people don't take as seriously as they should, which is the compound plan, right? Something very simple. I want to explain something to you. Before I get here, I want to explain something to you. I want to give you a scenario, right? Your risk to reward is extremely important. This is the most important thing when it comes to trading. Like if you ask me, the most important thing whenever you're placing a trade is your risk to reward. Now, why is that? I'm gonna give you a scenario. Let's say I'm risking 10 pips, but my reward, right? My reward is 50 pips, right? Let's say I'm risking 10 pips, which equals out, let's say $1,000, right? Let's say $1,000. Which is kind of wild, but you'll get there eventually. And my reward is 50 pips, which is $5,000. If I win one trade, right? If I win one trade, how many pips have I made? How many pips did I catch? How much money did I make? If I win one trade, how many pips is that? And how much money is that? Let me check the chat. 5K. Cool, perfect. That means I won. That's what I made. I didn't win. I made $5,000. Right? $5,000. Let's say I lose. Right? Let's say I lost 4 trades. If I lost 4 trades, how much money did I lose? If I lost 4 trades? 4,000, right? That means I lost $4,000, guys. $4,000. That means I'm net profit is $1,000, right? Do you realize I really went 1 and 4, and I made $1,000 that week? I don't think you guys realize what just happened. If I lose one trade, I lose $1,000. If I win one trade, I make 5,000. Let's say one trade I made 5,000. Oh, it's lit. It's dope. I made 5,000, but I lose the next 4 trades. The next 4 trades I lost them. Stop loss. Negative 4,000. I still come up $1,000. I'm only 20% accurate, and I make money. You guys get that, right? In this situation, I'm only 20% accurate in this scenario, but I made money. This right here, I want you to understand this. This right here, right? This right here is how you compound, and you don't even got to be good. This is why you don't even got to be good at this to hit 6 figures. You don't have to be good at this to hit 7 figures. You don't. And this doesn't just apply for trading. This applies for just money, period. Anything, period. Any risk to reward. If it's real estate deals, right? If real estate, the same thing. You can have these same numbers, apply it to real estate. Every property you flip, you make 5,000. Every property that doesn't go well, you lose $1,000. Anything, right? This is not just trade. Anything that you do, right? I want you to understand this. When you understand this, you'll make a lot of money. When you finally understand this, you'll make a lot of money. When you stop asking certain questions like, how accurate is that? The question is, what's the risk to reward? Because let's say a product, for example, is 20% accurate, but the risk to reward is always this. I'm taking every trade, right? Let's say a trader is only 20% accurate, but the risk to reward is this. I'm taking every trade. I need to take every trade because I'm proven, it's a proven fact that I'm guaranteed to make money. Even though this trader right over there, whatever, is only 20% accurate. Your risk to reward is everything. So now I'm going to show you guys, right? Because Gene and myself, we're responsible for a lot of success stories trading. And it's not that we're the best traders in the world, or the best traders to ever walk this earth, or the best traders to ever breathe air, oxygen. It's that we understand this. It's risk to reward. You don't even have to be good to be good at trading to be a millionaire trader. You don't have to be good at trading to be a 6-figure trader. I'm gonna share with you guys a compound plan that's going to help you hit the numbers you want to hit in your trading account. But you have to understand this, right? You have to understand this first. So now, look at this. Look at this compound plan. Now, this compound plan is based off of, and I'm going to drop it in the chat. I'm going to drop it in the chat for you guys. Go ahead, share that. Go ahead, share that. Go ahead, share that. Share that. Share that. Share that. Say that. This compound plan assumes you're doing a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Now, that is extremely important. All right, I want you to hold that down. Hold that down right there. This compound plan assumes you're doing a 1-to-1 risk to reward, right? Remember that. So whenever you want to grow, let's say in this example, 5%, right? You want to grow 5%. You want to grow 5. Oh, actually, let me actually show you something because hold on 1 second. That Bitcoin trade. Let me show you something real quick. That Bitcoin trade actually hit TP. That Bitcoin trade we did, it hit TP. So again, just to wrap up the MT4 portion, right? That Bitcoin trade hit TP. So whenever you see something, before I get into the combo plan, whenever you see something hit TP, it'll have that green bar on the left of it, right? It'll have that green bar on the left, and your TP, it'll hit whatever. You'll see that. All right, so you see that in your history. Whenever trades close, you'll see that in your history, and you'll see the week, month, whatever. You can customize it by the day, whatever, right? But just for the update, I know somebody just asked me that. All right, cool. Back to this. Now, this compound plan assumes 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Why is that actually a good thing for you? You know why that's a good thing for you, that this compound plan assumes that? Because when you're trading, it's almost never that, right? It's almost never that. When you're trading on the platform, it's almost never that. And yes, it will be red if it's stop loss. It's almost never that when it's actually when you're trading on the platform. Steady trades typically 1-to-2, 1-to-3 minimum, right? Harmonic scanner trades typically 1-to-3, 1-to-2, 1-to-3 minimum. Now, what does that mean? That means this plan tells you what lot size to use if you want to risk 5%. So this comp plan is showing you if you win the trade, you make 5% if it's 1-to-1. If you lose the trade, you lose 5% if it's 1-to-1. But if the trades are 1 to 3, that means if you risk 5% and you win that trade, you actually go up more than just the next one. You go up 1, 2, 3. You move up to this trade. Does that make sense? If it's 1 to 3, right? If it's 1 to 3 and I risk 5% to make 15%, that means if I win this next trade, I'm up 15%. That's 5, 10, 15%. Do you get what I'm saying? So when you see this compound plan, it doesn't really take this many trades. It takes that many trades if you're doing 1 to 1, but we almost never do 1 to 1. If you do a 1 to 10 following this, risking 5% to make 50%, you grow in 10. So you go from 11, 10 more to 21. You get that, right? That's why this compensation plan literally just blows people out the water. When you understand what it is that you're doing, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Remember the example we went over last time, 1 to 5, right? 1 to 5. This shows you what the 1 is. This shows you if you want to risk 5%, make this, and your stop loss is 20 pips, make that your take profit. Make your take profit, your lot size. If your stop loss is 30 pips, make that your lot size. If your stop loss is 40 pips, make that your lot size. If you're risking 5%. Now, if your risk is 5% and that's 1, and it's a 1 to 5 risk to reward that you're actually taking, the 1 is 5%, times it by 5, that means 25%. So you're risking 5% to make 25%. That's 1 to 5. You're risking 5% of your account to make 25% of your account. That's 1 to 5. That means if that trade pans out in your favor, you don't have to just go to the next trade. You don't just go to the next bar from 11 to 12. You don't just do that. You go from 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 16, right? You literally did this in one trade and you only risked 5% of your account. You only risked 5% of your account. That means you could lose the next 4 trades, 1, 2, 3, 4, still in profit. You lose 5 trades, you're back where you started. If you lose 5 trades in a row, I'm telling you, in a row, which almost never happens. I've never seen that happen. On this platform, I've never seen that happen. Personally. I've never seen that happen in this platform. Losing 5 trades in a row, 5 from any specific product, 5, just boom, 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 all stop losses. I've never seen that happen, ever. You may have done it, right? Closing out trades early, over leveraging, but you may have done it. But the platform itself, the trades individually, I've never seen that happen. Never, right? So follow this compound plan when you're trading, period. When you're trading a scanner, when you're trading steady, when you're trading anything, right? When you're trading anything. Actually just said the most I've lost in a row was 2, but I won 4. That means, I'm gonna tell you this right now, if she won 4 in a row and they were, let's say 1 to 2, I know some of them were 1 to 5, 1 to 10. If let's say it was only 1 to 2, that means she jumped. I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand what that means. Do you understand what that means? That means if you won 4 trades and they were 1 to 2, that means boom, boom, that's 1. Boom, boom, that's 2. Boom, boom, that's 3. Boom, boom, that's 4. She went from 2,500 to 3,700 basically. Right? And she lost 2, 1, 2. She went from 2,500 to 33.5. 3.3K. Understand that. I want you to understand that. In 6 trades, bro, and you lost 2 of them. I want you to understand, when you follow the compound plan, you cannot lose. Like, you really cannot lose. So if you're losing money trading, it's because you're not following the compound plan. You're not doing the exact thing that these millionaire traders that you're following, or these six-figure traders that you're following, whoever you're following, you're not doing the exact thing that your mentors and coaches are telling you to do. That's it. That's literally it. How can I make a new compound plan? You don't have to make a new one. Use the link right here. Use this link. You can edit this. This can be $500 and it'll all change. This can be $200 and it'll all change for you. This can be, instead of 5%, 3%, and it'll all change for you. You can edit this, right? You can edit this. What you can do is download it. It's on view only, but download it. You can download it. You can still download it. If it's on, you can still download it. It's not on edit because then a whole bunch of people will change. This will change every day. And some people can even delete it. So what you do is you just download the file. And when you download the file, you can edit it and do whatever it is you want to do to it. Just download the file. But I want you to understand that simple fact, right? And you can get really crazy. Once you have, you can have extra accounts where you can have a play account where you can get crazy with it. You can feel comfortable risking whatever you risk on your play account. But have an account that you really want to compound to get to 6 figures, get to 7 figures, and then have an account on the side where you can play around and do whatever you want to do. But the account where you're compounding, use this plan, right? Use this plan. Use this plan. Are we good on that right there? Are we good on that? Before we move on, are we good on that? Now, I was going to go over how to use this harmonic scanner, but I already got that all over my YouTube. So what I'll do now is go over how to use TradingView, and then we're going to have some of our top traders, right, Josh and Jordan, go over the chart, go over structure, support, resistance, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go over how to use TradingView. I was talking to Justin the other day. We were literally, I think yesterday, we were talking about how you can actually even set alerts and things like that, so that whenever price hits a certain number, whenever the market hits a certain price, you get alerted. You get an email, you get a notification, you get a whole bunch of stuff. My YouTube is TYETHEGOD. Same as my Instagram. All right, cool. So this right here. So how do you use TradingView? Right? How do you use TradingView? Can everyone see my screen? Everyone can see my screen, right? Yeah. All right, we're good. All right, cool. All right, we're good. Okay, how do you use TradingView? So this is where you'll see majority of your educators and things like that marking up charts and, basically marking up charts. So you can do plenty of things on here. There is a free version of TradingView and there is a paid version of TradingView. You can do a lot of stuff on the free version. You don't have to necessarily buy this, but there are certain things you would have to buy, like I think what's $15 a month or something like that to get access to TradingView, to the full version of TradingView and things like that. But I'm just going to go over the couple things that you can do on TradingView, right? Number one, actually, let's start from number one, hit the settings, right? You can do so much on here. You can customize this to the fullest, right? You can customize this to the fullest. Like I said, the colors that you look at induce you to take trades or leave trades on the table. I like the gray background. I tell people all the time, I like the gray background. It keeps me calm, keeps me mellow. And I like watching the green and red candles, right? Green and red candles. Some people like black and white candles. Some people like gray and blue candles, right? You can customize whatever color candle you want. You can do a whole bunch of different things. Session breaks. You can have breaks in your sessions and things like that, where you break up the days, right? But all this is done in the settings. So settings, you can change what colors you want, just like MT4. You can play around with what colors you want, right? Symbols and things like that. You can change the colors of your candles and things like that. This you just leave alone. Events, right? You can show events on the chart. And now when they say events, they mean like news and so on and so forth, right? Let's say I put that on. All right, they mean like that. That's all that means. Show economic events on the chart. That's all that means. Just news and things like that. Now nothing is showing. Let me see. Yeah, this shows like events and news will pop up on the bottom here. If you want to see that, put it. If you don't, then don't. I like a clean chart. I don't want to be influenced by anything else but price action to place a trade. Now, you do take news and things like that into consideration because news just tells you what time to expect the move. But for the most part, I want a clean chart for the most part, right? Appearance, I'll take the session breaks off. You can do plenty of things on here. There's so many things you can do on here. Now, if you want to add one of my favorite things, which is the weekend separators. Oh, snap. Stay on page. Now, if you want to add the weekend separators, right? This separates the weekend for you. Every week is separated for you, right? By this yellow, by these yellow bars, right? Let me actually add the period separators, the session breaks. So you see, right? So this is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? And then Sunday is that Saturday, Sunday is that yellow. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this separates the days for you. Now, how do you get that? How do you get that or any other indicator? At the top of your trading view, you're going to see this FX, right? Indicators and strategies. You're going to see that FX. Hit that FX. And you can search anything you want, right? Anything you want. EMA. You can search Bollinger Bands. I know my guy Justin loves Bollinger Bands, right? You can do, for that specific yellow, it's called weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So type in weekend, right? Weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Boom. It just got a little darker, but basically that's what it is. You can hide your indicators as well with this eye. You can hide your indicators. You can hit the settings on your indicators on the left side and adjust the settings. If I want it to be red, it'll be red. Right? If I want it to be red, it'll be red. If I want it to be anything else, it'll be anything else that I want it to be. Anything else that I want it to be. If I want to take it off, hit that. Hit the X, right? There's plenty things you can do on here. Someone said RSI. If I want to put the RSI, boom, let me put the RSI on here. RSI, Relative Strength Index. Why does it do that? Let me see. Oh, that's why it's automatically. There you go. RSI. The RSI is set up on there. Getting a little bit of divergence right here. Right? Getting a little bit of divergence. Watch your USD CHF this coming Sunday. You can expect a little drop. Right? So it's certain things you can do on here. Your candles, you could change this to bars. Right? You can change this to the line chart. You can change this to an area chart, right? It looks a little bit like HFX, right? You can change this to your candles. There's so many things you can do. You can even favorite some of these things, right? You see how I favorite the line chart and it actually pops up here. If I take it off, let's say I take it off and I want to do bars, the bars will pop up here as well. You can customize this, like I said, to the fullest. Certain time frames, I like to favorite certain time frames. If I don't like these time frames up there, see how they're coming off up here, over here, they're coming off. Take the 15-minute off. Let's say I want to do the 1 minute, the 15, and the weekly for whatever, anything. It'll pop up here so that I don't have to hit this every time I want to change time frames. It'll already be here, right? Weekly, whatever it is. Let me change it back before I get crazy. 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily. Boom. Right? You can do so much on TradingView. It's absolutely insane. You can customize this to whatever it is you want. All right? You can even do this. You can have a split screen. Pay attention. What did I do? What did I hit? What happened? What'd you do? You hit this right here. Hit this box right here. You can split your screen. You could look at two things at the same time, or you could look at the same thing on different time frames. So this is USD CHF on the 4 hour. If I hit this and I want to see USD CHF on the 1 hour, that's all I got to do. Or the 15-minute, that's all I got to do. That's all I have to do. Right? If I want to take off the period separators, session breaks, boom, that's all I got to do. Let's say I want to look at USD CHF and I want to look at the dollar index by itself. That's all I got to do. Have the dollar index here and then USD CHF here. Put them both on a 4-hour, you see how they look eerily similar? Right? Again, go ahead and play around with TradingView. This right here is where you're going to be making your money. It's best you understand how it is how it is you should be using these tools. Right? We're good on that. You can look at 3 things at the same time. Oh, look, need a bigger monitor. We do this, need a bigger monitor. See, look, need a bigger monitor for that. But guys, there's so many things you can do and touch on. You have your tools on the left side. All of your tools are here on the left side, right? You have your long position. Let's say I want to hit a buy. Boom, I just do that. Let me go on one. Let's say I want to hit a long position, right? Let's say this is my target. This is my stop loss, and I got in here, right? Let's say this red number tells you your stop loss price. This green number up here tells you your take profit price. This number here is current price. And all I did was go here. If I want to do a short position, whatever, short position there. This number here is my stop loss. This number here is my take profit. You can monitor your trades. You can track all of your trades. Everything. If I want to put certain characters and things like that somewhere, I just hit that, right? This is your character category. I want to put a magnet here, right? This is where I see price going. Put a magnet there. If I want to measure, right? If I want to measure pips, like how many pips from here to here, tells me how many pips is there. All right, 120 pips. 120 pips. If I want to lock a certain tool, right? I want to keep this locked so that every time I click, it'll always give me more lines. Every single time I click, I don't even got to go back anymore. I just keep drawing lines, keep drawing lines, keep drawing lines, whatever I want to do. And if I want to empty the whole thing out, I hit the trash can and everything goes away. Everything goes away, right? So there's plenty things you can do, plenty tools you can play with. So go ahead, spend some time just doing that. Spend some time doing that. Spend some time on your TradingView. On this top left-hand corner, you can type in whatever you want to type in, BTC, USD. Type in Bitcoin. There's plenty brokers and things like that where you can get your price delivered from. I usually go Bitfinex. For any crypto, I go Bitfinex. That's what most brokers use whenever they tell you the price of your XRP or ETH or any cryptos that's on the broker. They use Bitfinex as a broker, as the liquidity provider. How to make the background all black? Good question. Settings, background, black. Right? You can make white, black, purple, whatever it is you want, you can make it. Whatever it is you want, you can make it. Good question, good question, good question. You can even go back. You can even back test. Look what I'm about to do. You can even back test, right? So you can play out the chart. And this is how you really finesse, and this is how you really master a strategy. You back test. You back test. Right? What I just did was I took away price and I'm about to play it in real time. Right? You can slow it down. You can speed it up. Right? Now you can use this whenever you're testing a strategy, whenever you want to say, okay, cool, when every daily, every Tuesday, Bitcoin does this, or every whatever Bitcoin does that, right? You can test out your strategy by, this is what they mean by back test. You back test, you go back in time, right? You can play something over again. You can exit this. You can play something over again and say, hey, how true is this? How accurate is this theory that I have? Or how true or accurate is this strategy that I just found out? Could you share your fib parameters? Of course. Fibs themselves, right? You can change the color. Definitely change the color on your fibs. But these are the fibs that I use. Those are the fibs that I use. Go ahead, screenshot that. Don't just write it down, just screenshot it. I got to move forward. All right, screenshot that, screenshot that, screenshot that. Okay, cool. You can change the colors on your fibs too. Change the colors on your fibs. I know right now they have it as it may be like a gradient. Change it so that there's no color, so there's less noise on your chart. Less noise on your chart. I have these colors for my specific levels that I look for: 62, 705, and 79. Right? There's plenty things you can do. You can draw whatever you want on this. You can make this as thick as you want or as thin as you want. Double tap. You can play with how thick or thin these lines are. You can play with the colors of the lines. All right, you can play with the colors of the lines if you want. Right, so go ahead and play around with your tools. These are harmonic patterns here, right? Once you get through the academy, you understand what levels you need your A, B, C, and D points at. So again, go ahead and play around with your trading view. Watch this over again, play around with your trading view, but you can customize the length of certain tools, the width of certain tools, your the color of certain tools, everything is customizable. You can favorite time frames. You can favorite whatever chart you want to look at, right? Renko chart or whatever it is. Some of these may ask you to upgrade. Again, some of these may ask you to upgrade if you need to upgrade and that's something essential to your strategy. Go ahead and upgrade. It's worth the investment. It's worth the investment. It's worth the investment. It is worth the investment. All right. Drop any questions you have in the chat. Drop any questions you have in the chat, guys. Someone said, how do you get alerts? Whenever you have a bar or a line, let's say I want to, let me remove this and remove this. Let's say I need to be alerted when Bitcoin hits 50 grand again. I'll put a price. I'll put a line at 50 grand. I'll right click and I'll add alert. Add alert on horizontal ray. Add alert. And it will alert me. Send an email, notify on the app. Whatever it is I want it to do, it'll do for me. It'll send you an email. If you have the TradingView app, it'll pop up on your screen, just like a text message does. It'll pop up, hey, price alert for BTC USD. It hit, and price alert for BTC USD, and it'll show you the price that you set it at. So you don't gotta be, again, this is set up so that you can do whatever you want to do and make massive amounts of money from your phone. Right? You could be building a real estate business. You could be running a trucking company. You could be a chef. You could be a teacher, a cop. It doesn't even matter. Like, this is set up so that this doesn't demand too much time and it can make you plenty of money. Plenty of money. Right? Someone said trading. Yep, TradingView always does. Always has a Black Friday sale. Right? Always has a Black Friday sale. Black Friday's in what, a month or two? Wait till Black Friday, boom, get the full package. I think it's for like what? Like, I don't know, like $50 for like a year or something like that. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But the alerts are absolutely crazy and amazing. Alerts are absolutely crazy and amazing. What I'll do now, we got Jordan, we got the goats on here. We got some goats on here. I'm not gonna go over the harmonic scanner. I go over that every single Wednesday, 8 p.m. So right now we'll go over support, resistance, and structure. Right? Support, resistance, and structure. If you got the symbol and tool area in white, how to change it to black. I changed my whole everything. You can change the color theme to your whole trading view, right? Right now it's light. You can change your color theme to black, to dark if you want. Right? Color theme. You can have a blue. You can do whatever with your color theme. Right click. All this is right click. Now these are different strategies. Can't reveal that yet. Gray. whatever it is you want, and you can even save these as custom themes as well. You can save these as custom themes. So if you want that black, do that. You want that black, do that. You want that white, do that. Okay, cool. Right. So next. Let me see if we got our goats on here. Jordan and Josh. Do we have our goats on here? Yeah, we do. We got some goats on here. So what we'll be going over next is support, resistance, and market structure. And then I got a dope announcement for the team right after we get blessed from Jordan and Josh. So Jordan and Josh are people that I've known for quite some time now, and really some ride or die dudes, right? Some really down to earth, really like honest individuals, right? I remember meeting Josh. We went to, where did we go? We were in London. We were in London, man. We were in London, and that was an event that completely changed everybody's life, right? Everybody's life and perspective was changed. I remember always being cool, chilling with Jordan. Jordan's one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet. He's one of the funniest dudes ever. Like, always got the jokes. Josh too always got the jokes. Now, these are two individuals that I trust, love, and actually respect a lot. And to have these individuals show you support, resistance, and show you structure and things like that. Shout out! Look at the chat, man. Look at the chat. To have these individuals over here go crazy and show you what has gotten them to where they are now, right? They're actually some great traders, right? Some great traders, possibly future educators, right? We're still working on that. Possibly some future educators. So without further ado, I want to pass the stage over to two goats, man. Let me pass it over. I forget who's going first. Is it Josh? Who's going first? Josh or Jordan? Jordan going first? Jordan going first? Yeah, there we go. Let me pass it to you, bro. Let me pass it to you really quickly, man. Thank you.
Yo, can we actually, like, real quick? I gotta pass it back to our amazing C50, because if it wasn't for him, like, this wouldn't even be possible. So can we drop C100s in the chat? Can we drop some? Sheesh, it's lit. Bet, family. So get to share this amazing stage with another king being Josh. Right. So what I'm actually going to go over is support and resistance. It's actually, how I trade. And it's actually how I learn. And really, it's just what support and resistance is. It's how high the market can go and how low the market has been. Right. So it's trading in between zones and really, getting out of the market within those zones. All right. Now real quick, do I have any support and resistance traders on this call? I know there's a lot of institutional traders. So I got any support and resistance traders? Yo, it's lit. Shout out to all you guys, right? So make it very just gonna show you guys like a brief example. All right. So if I'm looking at what's a good pair, right? If I'm looking at USD JPY, right, how it's really looked at is you have to break down your time frames, right? So you would start on your monthly, right? And how we read it is your wicks tell a story, right? Your candlesticks tell you how your story ended, right? So you always mark the highest wick and the lowest wick. So now you know where you want to keep your price ranges between, because usually when you take a trade with support and resistance, you're going to stop loss usually over your wicks, right? That's the best way to get your stop loss. And then what you're looking to mark next is really multiple touches of that zone, right? So for example, as you see, market came to this level once, it came to this level twice, right? It rejected off this level, used this level as support or resistance, right? Then it used this level again, right? Here's the support. And every time you see the market just rejects, right? It rejects. And then when it finally breaks through, it uses as a resistance, rejects it, and then sells. So you're looking for multiple touches on the market that it lets you know, hey, this zone right here, there's something right here that is telling you that the market, like, there's a level here. The market can't break, or the market is using this as a very strong support level, which is like news. You know, being a support trader, we highly favorite news, right? When news is coming out, like we are ready, right? Then from there, you really just go down to your weekly. Where is price hitting on the weekly? Does it follow the same levels, right? So what I like to do is when I'm marking down or marking up my charts, right? Right now, as you guys see, I do have the dark colored scheme trading view. I like it a lot better than the light version, right? So what I'll do is I'll change my support and resistance level. So now I know, perfect, we got multiple touches again. I'm gonna actually change it to, you know, say orange, or my favorite color is red. So usually for like the weekly or the daily, you know, I'll come in with red, and I'll do the same thing. Just keep marking and marking until I finally get to where I actually like to place trades on, which is, you know, the 4 hour, right? I love higher time frame trades because I like longer pip moves, right? Obviously, you guys know, as Forex traders, the more pips you catch, the more money you can make, right? So I love taking trades off the 4 hour, right? Because if I have a 4 hour zone, right, with little price action, you know, I can catch the perfect move with a very, very minimal stop loss, right? So from there, once again, you just keep marking until you get down to the daily. Then from the daily, you have literally the same thing, right? So what I'm actually going to show you guys real quick is I'm going to turn something on. Does it a little bit for me, right? So once again, you're just marking up until you get to what you want, right? Remember, support and resistance is multiple touches of a zone until you get to the time frame where you're looking to place trades on, right? If it's the 4 hour, if it's the 1 hour, right? Just know that when you get there, you're then going to look for patterns that tell you, hey, the market is going to do what you said it's going to do, right? So if I was getting down to the 4 hour, I'm going to actually turn this on, right? So I see here that the price is moving off zones, right? Actually, mark this. So I know, once again, pattern wise, let's go yellow. I'm not going to do the daily. Price is here, price is here. Then we have zones in between. Yeah, I'm basically marking up chart patterns. So head and shoulders, right? Double tops, right? Inverted head and shoulders. And then how trading support and resistance works is you're really just trading from zone to zone, right? That way you can you can know when you get out the market, right? You know how to get out the market because you know how low the market wants to drop for you. So if I'm trading zone to zone, right? Moving this up, I know this, right? So I'm trading support and resistance, and I'm trading zone to zone. So if I take a sell, right, from up here, first TP will usually be here, right? Which is, I said, a little bit better risk management. I would never risk 58 pips on this trade, right? But I would take this trade from zone to zone. Now, what price does is price going to make two moves at support or at resistance. Price is either going to break, retest, and push up, or price is going to reject, retest, and just go back to where you took it from. So as you see on this trade, right, if I'm looking at USD/JPY for the buy or the sell, right, if I was taking a sell here, once price got here, price did what? Price used this support, it broke through it, retested, and continued dropping. That's where you can either, a second trade will be called out, or, we tell you just, adjust stop loss on a profit, hold for the next TP, right? So this is where you really just trade zone to zone. And if you look at it, price broke the zone, came back down, dropped. Price came back, did what? Did the same thing. Use this zone. Now, instead of it being a support, right, we say once it breaks support, that support is now your resistance, right? Use this support now as a resistance, popped a candlestick pattern, and dropped. Then what happened? It started rejecting back and forth, right? To where you can literally just, if you have the right patterns, right, have the right support and resistance levels marked up, it just plays in this level. Like once you get better at support and resistance, you literally just get to take trades off zones. Once it breaks that zone, I know I can stay in this trade, right? Well, if it does not break, okay, I get out and I can switch now my setup. I can now say, okay, if it rejects here, I can now place a buy, right? Two people there. So, and it's gonna be like that for any pair. So one pair that I really like was like, I love Euro USD because I know Euro USD moves in crazy patterns. So it's like right here, right? We had a double top, right? Double top came from up here. Let me erase this. Let me erase it. Yeah. All right, so we had a double top. So what happened was market a little bit broke this resistance, but it dropped back beneath. So it came with a false breakout, popped the resistance again, and then dropped. But what happens is with support and resistance, you now wait until, usually as a new trader, we say wait for the neckline to be broken so you can have a validated trade, right? So once this broke neckline, what happened? It dropped. Well, the next resistance level, if you had this marked up, would have been here, here, or where I have it down here, which is usually what we call, right, TP1, TP2, TP3. So once it broke this, you see that it now travels in zones, right? So it broke double top, it dropped, zone 1 was hit. What did it do? It rejected off this zone to push back up, but then it gave you another pattern, right? There's one top, two top. So it popped another double top in the same exact zone. So I could have entered this trade again, and then what happens? It broke through and just dropped. So that's the amazing beauty about support and resistance, is that with any type of trading style, the market will move for you. You don't rush trades. You let trades play themselves out, right? We say don't rush trades, don't chase money. You never chase money, you let the money come to you. And once the market shows you what it's going to do in that zone, you literally just get to play off support and resistance patterns. Hey, it's at resistance. Did it break resistance? No. Okay, perfect. So now if I know it did not break resistance, if I know it's not going to break now, we're going to sell, right? If I know it's going to break, right? If it shows that, hey, it broke here, okay, then my analysis can now change. I can see what it did in the past, right? Because what the market does, right? We say history. Do y'all know this? Do y'all know the saying about history? Who here knows the saying about history? Let me know. Right? Perfect. History repeats itself. So if I'm looking at market history, I have to understand that what did market do back here? Right? What did the market do here? Market came here, and market did what? Dropped. So there's a zone of resistance here, right? There is news here that makes the market drop when you play a support and resistance role. And every time, that is now how you find your levels of take profit, your levels of support and resistance, because you know that history will repeat itself. So perfect. If history says the sell came here, you're automatically looking for sells in that same support and resistance level. Are you putting your lines on the body or the wick? So usually my support and resistance levels go on the wick because that's where I want to stop loss over, right? Usually, like I said, my white line comes off a different time frame. So I know how strong that resistance level is. So I'll mark up my chart from the monthly, the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15. Right. I know like it might sound like a lot of different time frames, but once you actually break it down, there's a huge gap between the monthly and the weekly. There's a huge gap between the hour or the weekly and the daily, and then the daily to the 4 hour, and the 4 hours to the 1 hour. So you're just finding the different levels of where you want to place your support and resistance levels to figure out what you are now going to find your stop loss, your TP. And the perfect way I like to put it, right? It's always good to use your phone, right? So one way I like to put it is I like to find my take profits on the 4 hour, because you find your candlestick formation for us. You know how long the market is going to drop for, right? And I like to find my stop loss on like the 15. That's how you get your 10 pip, your 5 pip, your 10 pip, your 15 pip stop losses. That's how you get your risk to reward to be that, 1 to 2.5, 1 to 3, right? Everybody here wants to make money. The biggest thing about making money, right, is you have to stop loss way less. And how do you do that? What can I say? Can you say that one more time? Right. So I'll use the 4 hour and the 1 hour. TPs come on the 4 hour and 1 hour. Stop loss comes on the 15-minute, right? Because the 15-minute basically already played out. So if I have a strong, I don't know if you guys know what it is, but an evening star on the 4 hour. Okay, perfect. The 4 hour gave me an evening star. I know the market's now going to start looking to fall. I can find a 15-minute stop loss, which is only going to be about 15 pips or less. All right, I'll slow it down. My bad. All right. So TPs come on your 4 hour. Your stop losses come on your 15. Like that's as simple as you're gonna get. Like as simple as it can really be. Because if I take this trade from here on the 4, right? Evening star. If I was to go short from here, I don't want to stop loss anything over 15 pips. Well, that wick is 18 pips. So now I know, right, this is still a valid trade. If I come down to that 15, where is that wick? Right, if I come down to this, I know I entered down here. There's probably going to be a level. The double top's a little bit higher. 1 top, 2 top, I entered down here. There's like a 9 pip stop loss here. This trade from where you entered, right? How do you set stop loss on the 15? You're finding, once you find the support and resistance level on the 15-minute time frame, right? That's how you find your 15-minute stop loss. So that's how you find that's why you mark up the weekly or the monthly, the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15-minute. Because once you find your 4 hour entry point, you can now go find your 15-minute stop loss. And just like that, if you would have took this trade, right, you would have had a double top on the 4 hour, right? You had your candlestick formation, and then you now have your stop loss being what the 15-minute gave you, which would have been a 9 pip stop loss, which this now becomes a 1 to 5 risk reward trade. You're risking 9 pips to catch 49 pips or more, depending on where your TP levels are. And if you look at it, right, we call out, like I said, we call out TP level on the 4 hour time frame. So if I find the TP levels on the 4 hour, TP1, 49 pips, TP2, 93. You're now looking at a 1 to 10. TP3 would be a 1 to 24. So you find support and resistance, right, on the day, on the monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15. And then you can use your 15-minute support and resistance as your stop loss. Does that make sense? Let me know. All right, bet. Right. So that's how support and resistance is traded. It's just traded. Yes, at the 4 hour, you find your entry, because your 4 hour is where you find your entry and your TP, because you have the candlestick patterns to formulate, right, what it is that you want. The higher the time frame, the better the formation that you're trading, right? The higher the time frame, the bigger the support, like the higher the support and resistance it uses, right? The stronger the time frame, I'm just going to say the support and resistance is a bit different on each time frame. Yes, right? The higher the time frame, the stronger the support and resistance. The 4 hour has a higher support and resistance time frame than the 15-minute. So if I got rejection on the 4 hour, I know it should not come back to the 15-minute. But that's how support and resistance works into how you take support and resistance trades, right? And then it's just finding news to back up what you say, right? Which is Forex Factory, where I love to get news from. And it's like, I think Ari said it, right? On Sundays through Thursdays, we actually do heavy, support and resistance trading calls, right? Me and Josh. All right. So that's really how I look at the market, support and resistance wise, right? The next title, I pass it back to you, or do I just pass it to Josh?
You pass it right back to me. I'll take it from here. I'll take it from here. Thank you, Jordan. You the freaking GOAT, man. You the GOAT, you the GOAT, you the GOAT. Thank you for everything you do for the squad. Thank you for the family. Jordan's actually part of the announcement that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the end of this right after Josh blesses us with some structure. Jordan, go ahead, drop your Instagram in the chat for the team. Drop your Instagram in the chat for the team so we can show love. We can show love. We can show love. So the next person I'm bringing up, he goes by Blue Money Josh, man. We don't call him Blue Money for no reason, man. This is the wholesome king right here. Blue Money Josh, the wholesome king. So he's going to be going over market structure, breakout retest, things like that. And now this is an essential part of the game. Now I want you to be very careful, right? Because this right here is everything we're talking about is by design. Everything we're talking about is with an intention, right? So I want you to understand you can add everything you're learning to all products, and you can increase your accuracy. You can make sure you can put yourself in the best position to win specific trades by just adding on certain confluences, right? So certain confirmations, right? And structure, support, resistance, these types of concepts are concepts you can add to steady, concepts you can add to the harmonic scanner, concepts you can add to the announcement we're gonna have at the end, just so that you can have a better shot whenever you're placing that trade. So I want to introduce Blue Money Josh to the family. Go ahead, Josh. Talk to us about market structure. Talk to us about how you view the market and things like that, because Josh is somebody who's literally inches away from P2, P5, and we're going crazy. We're going absolutely insane.
Sheesh. Let's go ahead and pass it back to the guy, the myth, the legend, your trader's favorite trader, man. I appreciate you, bro. Like you said, my name is Blue Money Josh. I've been trading for about a little over 2 years now, and support and resistance, market structure, those fundamental things is something that, let me go ahead and, there we go. It's definitely some of the things that like I really, really look at when I'm trading. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Emphasis on wholesome king, man. You guys know how it is. Emphasis. All right, so we should all know by now, right? And big shout out to Gene, big shout out to Jordan as well. We should know by now, right, that the market moves in two directions, right? It goes up and it goes down, right? We know that there is a uptrend and there is a downtrend, but there's details inside of that, right? So inside of, and just let me know if you guys can see my screen as well. Just drop a one real quick before I just jump into it. Emphasis on wholesome kings, man. You know the vibes. All right, cool. So we're good. All right, so in the midst of the ups and the downs, right? In the midst of the downtrends, the uptrends, there is details in between that, right? We know that right now, this is a downtrend, right? Inside of that, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up. That is the structure of the market. I feel like if you really want to master if you want to master the skill set of trading, you have to know details like this, right? You have to know how the market moves. And to do that, you start with the market structure. So we're going to go over downtrend at first. Definitely make sure you're taking notes if you haven't been already. So for a downtrend, right? This is going to be the notes for a downtrend. In a downtrend, you're going to have two things. All right, you're going to have lower highs and you're going to have lower lows. And if I'm going too fast, if you guys have questions, please let me know. So this is the high of the market, right? This is the top. At the time, this was the high of the market, right? It started to go down. It dropped. It hit this support, right? And this is going to go a lot with, like, you're going to see a lot of similarities with market structure and support and resistance. They play hand in hand very well. So right here, it hit this support level, right? And then it bounced back up. That is the structure of the market. This is now the new low of the market. Now, when it went back up, it formed a new high, but because it is lower than the original high, this is now the lower high. Very, very simple. Do not overcomplicate this, right? It drops lower, it comes to another support. This is now the new low, but it's lower than the original low. So it's now the lower low. You can look at it as steps, right? So high, low, it comes back up, still lower than the original, right? Comes back up, lower high, drops down, lower low, drops down again, lower high, lower low. So now this is important because, okay, so when do I know that when the market is going to change? When do I know if obviously we know it's not just going to drop forever, right? And like I said, this is going to play very hand in hand with supporters and resistance as well. So with a downtrend and with market structure, if we're doing lower lows and lower highs, as soon as structure breaks, that's when you'll see a reverse in the market. So if it's a downtrend right now, and if it's dropping, right, we have the lower lows, we have the lower highs. As soon as the market breaks the previous lower high for a downtrend, when it breaks the previous lower high, you'll see a reversal, meaning that it's going to start buying now, right? So let me go ahead and I'm going to put a line right here. This was the previous lower high, right? Notice how before it broke it touched it a few times, right? Came here, rejected. You're going to see a lot of rejections. It breaks out and then it kind of just pushes through, right? After that, so you're never going to really enter. I always tell like people when I'm training them, you never want to enter, and this goes with support and resistance as well. You never want to enter when the breakout happens, right? It's called a break and retest. So you're gonna wait for that retest of the market, because imagine now you went in for a buy here. I mean, obviously this is the daily. I'm sure if we drop down to the lower time frame, there's definitely a retest here. But let's just say this was a lower time frame, right? Because you're gonna see this on all time frames. Let's say this was the hour. It would have went up and it would have came down, took you out. Stop loss and profit, stop loss at break even, whatever the case was. You would have got taken out, and then it gave the W. Now you're going to look for, like Ty was saying, you're going to add on other confirmations to add on to whatever you think the markets are going to do. This was a pretty big play, but it wasn't the full play, right? So now we have a W at the previous lower high right here, right? And then that's when it plays out fully. This is when now it shoots all the way up like it was supposed to. That is the ideal entry that you're looking for, right? Because like Jordan was saying as well, you don't want to chase the market. You want to wait for the market to come to you. You want to wait for the price to come to you. So if it shoots up, that's fine. It's okay. I want it to come down and hit market structure, show its respect to the previous support, and then I'm gonna go in for that buy. Now instead of, let's just say it was the daily. Now instead of catching a 400 pip play, which is plenty, don't get me wrong, is plenty. Now we caught let's say we caught at the bottom of the W, we caught a 1300 pip play, just because we wanted to wait for structure, right? So like I said, with market structure, it's very, very, very simple. As far as the downtrend goes, you're gonna have the lower highs, right? Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. As soon as the market breaks the previous, for a downtrend, as soon as it breaks the previous lower high, right, which would have been right here, that's when you're going to enter for the buy, right? And we're gonna go over an uptrend as well. Let me go ahead and make sure I'm looking at the, okay, bet. All right, perfect. So now for a uptrend now, right? It's gonna just be the opposite, right? Now we have higher highs and we have higher lows. Very, very, very simple. Do not overcomplicate this, right? Let's just say this is the low of the market at the time, right? This is the low of the market. It pops up right here, right? Comes down, and notice how it's hitting the same prices. It's like I said, it's hand in hand with the support and resistance. It's forming this kind of like support right here. If I can put right there, it's hitting the same exact prices. Like Jordan was saying, the market repeats itself. Higher low right here, it goes up. It's forming a new high, but it's higher than the original high. So it's a higher high, comes down, not necessarily a higher low, because like I was saying, it kind of respected it. In this case, goes up higher, higher high, higher low. Now notice how, because like I said, this all plays very hand in hand. Notice how the previous higher high, right? It's the same exact price as the new higher low, right? Higher high, higher low, comes up higher, higher high. Now when it retraces, it's hitting the same price that it touched before. Very, very simple. Like I said, it's the same support and resistance. Goes up higher, higher high, higher low, higher high up here, and then a higher low, same thing. Notice how it's literally touching the same prices, literally hitting the same zones, and then it broke it. So like I said, you don't want to enter when it hits that, when it breaks it originally. You want to wait for that break and retest. Like I said, we're on the daily. I'm sure on the, I mean, we can actually go to it. Let me see. Okay, so this would have been your retest right here. That would have been your retest. Obviously, I mean, this could have been a little more, it's like mad slanted right now. But essentially that's going to be your retest that you're looking for. You're looking for some type of candle pattern, some type of market structure. I mean, market pattern, something to show you that this is going in the opposite direction. Usually I look for, so this would have been an M. Usually, I think we didn't catch this. I don't think so. We might've caught this. You want to look for some type of market pattern to, like Ty was saying, add on the confirmations to whatever you're looking for. So we already know on the higher time frame, it broke structure. So we should be expecting now a sell, right? It broke structure. So we should be expecting the reversal. Now all we're looking for is a retest. Adding on the confirmation. Okay, what else is it? What I need something else to tell me that this is going to actually sell. Now we have a M on the lower time frame. Right? Came up, dropped, came up again. Is giving a lot of rejections, right? On the 30-minute. If you can see a lot of rejections here, and then tanks out, right? As well as, like I said, this is going hand in hand when it comes to support and resistance, as well as like the market structure, because when I look for my TPs, I'm looking for market structure. So for example, let's say we sold this, like I said, it's going hand in hand with what Jordan was saying. Let's say we sold it here, right? It broke it, it retested. The first TP is going to be wherever the last retracement was, like on the left. So I would be looking for here. This would be TP1. TP2 would be the next retracement, or the next, in this case, higher low. TP2, TP3, and then whatever on and on, right? So TP1 would have been 130 pips. Usually, like if I was trading by myself, I'm taking that TP1. When it comes to calling out like signals and calling out trades for other people, a lot of people don't have the patience for that. So like I usually look for a lower TP on the lower time frame, usually like a 30 pip. So in this case, it would have been TP1 would have been this one here. That would have been TP1, which would have been let me see. And I didn't edit the stop loss yet either. So definitely not. If you guys know how I trade, definitely not doing that stop loss. So this one would have been a 60 pip TP. I'd probably do that one. As far as stop losses, that's a whole nother training. But yeah, so when it comes to market structure, like it's gonna supply your TPs, right? It's gonna supply your TPs. This would have been TP1, TP2. Now this, I guess you could say this is for more like swing trading, because now obviously we're on the daily time frame. So this would have been TP2, TP3 over here. The max stop loss that I like to do for mine is usually like 15, 20 pips max, usually 15 max. So this would have been, 1 to 22. And then you're still going to, if you see this going like further and further, obviously the TP would go further down. And then same thing for the buy is going to be literally the same thing. So let's say we caught this W for the buy. Right, we saw that it broke structure. We saw that we were waiting for the retest. Right, this was the structure right here. We're waiting for that retest. We saw that it gave a W. We would enter in. Let's say we entered at the bottom. Right, TP1 would have been usually for M's and W's. TP1 is going to be that neckline because, like Jordan was saying, like once it breaks the neckline, then you'll know like all right, it's gone. But sometimes it hits the neckline and it reverses. So you're kind of like getting out of there quick. Neckline, that's going to be the first TP. And like I said, you're gonna do it. Obviously, we're on the daily now just because I can see the structure. As far as the training goes, I can see the structure a lot better on the daily. As far as this particular pair that we're looking at, sometimes you can see it good on the 4 hour, on the hour, wherever the case is. But it's a lot cleaner on the daily right now. But TP1, usually if I enter on an M or a W, it's at the neckline. Usually that's 30 pips, sometimes depending on the pair. If it's more volatile, it's a little more. And then TP2 would have been the next structure. Would have been right here. Or actually it would have been, sorry, it would have been this one. This structure right here. So TP1 at the neckline, TP2 at the next structure here, and then TP3 up here. And then you would literally just, I mean, if you had to go back, then you would just look for, okay, this would be TP whatever, 3 or 4, whatever we're at. So then notice how each time it touches one of our TPs, it reverses. I mean, except for this one. Hit TP here, it hit it and then dropped. Here, I mean, it just pushed through. Here, it hit TP and then reversed. Here, this last TP, it hit it and then tanked out. So it's like each time it hits that, it's respecting that structure. So you could either twin trade, you can take out partials at whatever structure, you can just take out some of the partials, or you can add in entries. So if you're entering for the buy and you know that this is the structure, it broke it on the retest, enter again. Same thing here. It broke it here, retest right here, enter again, right? Until finally it kind of like breaks through. Same thing here, it broke it originally. I mean, it broke it here, and then it broke it again here, gave a W on the structure, enter again. So you could have had 1, 2, 3 entries on this 1300 pip play. Usually when I swing trade like that, each time I go in again, I mean, if TP1 hits, by the time you're entering in for the second entry, you're already up 300 pips. In this case, right? Like if you're swinging, and then each time it hits that structure, I mean, your margin is out the door now, because you feel me? Like you're up so much on your trade. Now you can up the lot size a little bit, up it here. So now you're up, instead of getting just 1,300 pips, you're getting 13 here, 1,000 here, 600 here, whatever the case is. And each time your lot size is going up. That's a little more advanced though, but let me see the here, Pete, what you said about downtrend as a market. So for the downtrend, when you see let me delete this. For downtrend, when you see the previous, okay, but I got you. I'll show you. For the downtrend, when you see the previous lower high broken. So in this case, this was, I shouldn't have deleted it. Hold on. Whoops. Right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high right here. Once it breaks that, then you'll see the retracement, or you'll see the reversal, sorry. So for a downtrend, when it breaks the previous lower high, you'll see a reversal for an uptrend. Now, as far as neckline, because a lot of people asking neckline, let me see if I can find a valid one. Okay, so right here. As far as neckline goes, I'll go over M and then I'll go over W just real quick. So this is, let me see, can I can't. Okay, so this is, right, it went up. That's the first leg. It came down. It went up again. This is the second leg of the M, right? The neckline is just wherever it retraced to. So the neckline would have been right here. Whoops. Neckline would have been right here. So that would have been neckline. Another example would have been like right here. This M right here, this is neckline. Notice how it gave an M. When it broke it, it retested the same areas, right? Retested the neckline here, retested the neckline here, and then dropped. Same thing for the W, neckline right here. Drop down, came up, dropped down. This is the neckline right here. If that answers your question. Yeah, trainings, yeah, facts. I think Ty's also gonna go over it as well. Any questions on market structure? I mean, it's very, very simple. The way that I trade is a very fundamental style of trading. I I mean, you're gonna have to use market structure for literally anything when it comes to trading. Like everything has like the structure. I mean, specifically for Forex pairs, you're definitely gonna need that. Higher highs, higher lows for uptrends, lower lows, lower highs for downtrends. And then that's gonna go hand in hand with trend lines as well as support and resistance. Usually the support and resistance is gonna line up almost, I mean, most times identically with the structure of the market. Because like I said, it's hitting the same exact prices. So when the neckline takes place, a retracement will happen. Not always. Sometimes it pushes right through, but sometimes you will see a retracement there. But sometimes it just pushes right through the neckline. Yeah. Any other questions before I pass it back? Or are we valid? Can I get a 1 if we're good, a 2 if not? 1 if we're good, a 2 if not. All right, cool. We're valid. I bet. So we got 1, 2. We got 1, 2. Hold on. What were we confused about specifically so I can go over it with you? Neckline. All right, so hold on. Let me just draw it out. So let's say we had an M, right? It pushes up, it comes down, and then it pushes up again, right? To form the M. The neckline is wherever it pushed down to. Right here is the neckline. So this is the neckline right here. So now when it pushes through, sometimes, not always, sometimes you'll see it retrace back to that neckline for the continuation of the drop. Not always, but yeah. But that's the neckline. And then just vice versa with the W, pushes down, comes up, wherever it touched before it, like, when do you make the trade call? What do you mean, like to enter the trade? And the neckline is right here. If you're talking about entering the trade, you want to enter the trade on the second leg. So for the best entry on the M, you want to enter at the top of the second leg. Usually that's going to come with some type of candle pattern, some type of wick pattern, some type of something like that, depending on what time frame you're looking at. And then the bottom of the W. Yeah, you're going to enter the trade at the bottom of the second leg for the W and the top of the second leg for the W. That answers your question. Cool, perfect. All right, cool. So we're good. Okay, we're not good. So for M, you're going to enter at the top of the second leg. So let me see if there's a I mean, that one's not too clean. Let me see. Okay, so let me go with the W. So right here, this W right here, right, came down, went up, came down. You're going to enter on the second leg at the bottom. That's where you're going to enter at. The M is for a drop. The same way you draw whatever the letter is, that's the direction it's going. So the same way you draw an M, that second leg goes down. You're going to sell it. Same way you draw a W, is going to go up. So for example, for an M, let me see. Yeah, effects. I want to find a clean, same thing with this W here. This one's a pretty clean one. W for the buy. Damn, there's no, okay. There's an M right here. M right here. Came up, dropped down, came up. You're going to enter on the second leg at the top for an M, and then notice how it drops. And then the W just does the opposite. So you're going to look for these chart patterns on or at the what's it called? Exactly, MSLW buy. You're going to look for these chart patterns on the, like, aligned with the what's called market structure. So when it retraces to that lower lower high, you're going to look for these chart patterns to give you that extra confirmation, as well as like support and resistance as well. When it hits the support and resistance, to know where it's going to go, you're going to look for that same chart patterns, MW, head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, wherever the case is. You're going to look for that to give you the extra confirmation for that trade. All right, cool. So I believe E1, E2, yeah. So I forget how that trading goes. That's Manny's trading. I believe, yes. I can't remember how it goes exactly, but I believe that's how it is. Right, cool. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Ty, for letting me get the opportunity to do this. Appreciate you, Jordan, Gene, everybody for hopping on. I'm gonna pass it back to you, bro. Appreciate you.
Let's go. Thank you, Josh. Josh, drop your Instagram in the chat for the gang. Drop your Instagram in the chat for the team. That is gonna conclude our Super Saturday. But before that, we gotta make a huge dope announcement. More so a reminder for the team. Let me stop recording, man.